Hello? Are we live? Hello. Hello, we're back. We are so back. We're doing kind of a whatchamacallit, a different stream this time. Yeah, we're actually gonna be watching something. Cause I thought it got me angry. Why? Because most of these things, or at least, I saw like the first half. Like 20 minutes of a video. This is just like a complete compilation of it. But it got me angry because most of these things should not have scared my generation at all growing up. I think I saw like worse things from like I don't even know. Some of them are from kid shows. I'm like, that scared you? Um, but yeah, we're gonna get into it. I wonder if the audio's fine.
Welcome to the Gen Z Childhood Trauma.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be stopping in between because I am not gonna be one of those people that just sits there and does nothing. I'm gonna try and like respond to every single bit of it. So yeah, let's go.
Iceberg, the complete
Is it loud enough?
saga. Over 1 entire year ago, today, I released part 1 of the series, and since then, it has been one wild ride. And I made this video here, a complete saga, to basically, be a celebration of all the videos in the
Check if it's good.
saga. To basically, be a celebration of all the videos in the
Check if it's good.
saga. To basically,
A different stream this time. Okay, so my audio is really loud, but this isn't. So I'll lower my audio a little bit more. Hello, hello, hello. I probably should get. What? I'll raise this up.
past. So this is every single Gen Z Childhood Trauma Iceberg video, all in one.
Okay. Because
Trauma Iceberg video, this is every...
I'll lower my audio a little bit more. Hello, hello, hello. I probably should get. What? I'll raise this up.
past. So this is every single Gen Z
Yeah,
Childhood
that
Trauma
works.
Iceberg video, all in one.
That actually. Okay, it's actually louder now.
Trauma Iceberg
At least I hope.
all in one.
That actually. Okay, it's actually louder now. Okay, that's perfect now. Great. We're so back. Okay.
With a little bit of some improvements and tweaking here and there. But by no means there's just 2 videos one after another. No. I actually went through the effort to put each one to be segmented accurately to each other. So for example, when it's part 1 or the tip of the iceberg for the original Childhood Trauma Iceberg, it's the tip of the iceberg for the community iceberg right after. So it's essentially all one big video that is flush with each other. I'm really excited to see what you guys think about
that
this.
explanation was
As
completely
always,
confusing.
If you're on the younger side, I would suggest that you click off this video since we get into some pretty creepy and disturbing subject matter.
No, it's really not.
Join
If
me
you get scared
in
by
a
this,
deep dive into
you need to get
your
off the
childhood
internet.
Trauma. Here we go. Starting off at the tip of the iceberg, we've got William Afton's corpse. William Afton's corpse can be seen inside the Springtrap character in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. This is always
it's
a
surface
grisly
level.
sight since you could see his
It's surface level, but how did that scare anyone?
flesh and teeth through the robot. FNAF jump scares.
Oh wait, that's
This
fair.
one is very self-explanatory. This is simply referring to the jump scares in the Five Nights at Freddy's games.
I think I'm gonna be honest, the only jump scare that actually like got me was whatchamacallit, from the first game. I think that's everyone. After that, I didn't really get affected by it. I'm like, oh, but that's because I was watching a video and I didn't play it, but that's different. Even then, they weren't that scary.
Memnon counterpart. This video is a strange one to say the least. It starts off saying in the year 2571, a video cassette tape was found in a pile of rubble on a certain
This guy reads like how I read. I think he might be dyslexic.
blue planet. What you're about to witness will not be the contents of the aforementioned cassette. This is an entirely different recording.
Okay.
Proceeds to show what looks like some sort of demonic kid show with intense screaming in the
demonic
background.
kid show.
If you want to learn more, Scare Theater made a pretty good video about it. Gigabout.
How does that look scary at all? It doesn't make any sort of sense. If that scared you, you shouldn't.
Super Smash
Oh my god.
Bros. Melee, at the end of the adventure mode, Bowser transforms into Giga Bowser, which is a lot scarier than the normal Bowser.
No way. How is that? What part of it's so scary? He's just darker. His whole complexion is darker. How's that scarier? There's a joke to be made there, but I just don't get it.
Giga Bowser returns to every Smash.
Was I just like desensitized at a young age? Because I used to watch horror movies with my family. Granted, I'd cover my eyes because it was actually spooky, but I guess like, you could say I got used to it. Wasn't that? This isn't scary.
Since as Bowser's final Smash, Five Nights at Freddy's 4.
Okay, that Five Nights at Freddy's 4 was actually
Freddy's 4,
pretty
he plays
spooky.
a little kid protecting himself from nightmare robots in his house that were trying to kill him. This game also features the infamous bite of 1983.
Don't say it.
Sabrina. Sabrina was a character in the original Pokemon anime that trapped the main characters in a giant dollhouse. She was seen having mystical powers and had a creepy appearance. Minecraft mobs.
Creepy appearance, bro. She looks so average. Why? Because she has that little bowl cut. That was creepy.
While not the most scary nowadays, way back when we were all little kids, the Minecraft mobs were a bit creepy.
No,
Those
that's
that freaked
only
me out the
you.
most were the zombies, zombie villagers, and of course the gas. Their screeches were just terrible.
Those screechies were terrible. Okay, I'm not making fun of the creator. I'm making fun of how silly whoever made this Iceberg is. I'm kind of just dunking on the creator because it's kind of funny. But you're telling me this was scary to you? How old were you? If you're over the age of 5, this should not have scared you. I vividly remember the constant times, like around, what years? Like 10 years ago? God, I'm old. 10 years ago, me and my brother would play on console, and we just went on different, like, skin maps, or like the tutorials, spawn in villagers to just run around, and then have the zombies chase them. That was entertaining for us, and then we'd blow everything up. But how was that scary? Gas weren't scary. They were annoying.
The gas pasta.
Wait, what?
Screeches were just terrible. Creepypasta. This one's very broad and is just talking about the general idea of creepypasta. Whether it be Candle Cove, Happy Appy, Slenderman, Sonic.exe, or any of the other classic creepypastas.
Only some of these are scary, and I'll tell you why. Not like the story. Stories don't scare me. The images scare me, or spooked me. Some are actually unsettling, I'll give you that. But, most of them aren't. They're just dumb. Like, okay, what do we got here? We got, Tiki Toby. I don't know who that is. Jane the Killer. Suicide Mouse, I'm assuming. The Yuboa? Yuboa was not scary. I mean, I guess it could spook you if it appeared, but no. I don't know who that is. Who the hell? Is that supposed to be Jeff? I guess the first time seeing Jeff, that was scary. But and after like the first few times, I'm just like, he's just weird to look at. That's like the top part. What is this? I'm not sure. Why is the quality so bad? Bro, you need to up your quality on the thing. Is that Candle Cove? Not sure. Eyeless Jack wasn't scary. Squidward Suicide? I think that's just Red Mist. I'm trying to remember if that was actually. I didn't like to look at it, but I wouldn't say that's necessarily scary. I just didn't like to look at the image. Ben Drowned? How is Ben Drowned scary? I've played Majora's Mask. The model wasn't even that bad. I don't know what the hell that is. I don't know what that is. Slenderman wasn't scary. Who is that? Is that the Skin Sealer? I think that is. Sonic EXE, absolutely not scary. what part of it? Was there like any specific image? Smile dog. Okay. First smile dog picture was not scary. It just looked like a weird dog. The second, I don't even, there's like multiple. But there's like a specific image where it's all red and it's like a big mouth. That one I don't like. What is this? Smiling Jack. No, that one's scary. I don't know who that is. Or that. Is that Clockwork? I can't remember.
There was probably at least one that freaked you out as a kid. Luigi's Mansion Beta Game Over.
You're joking, right?
The beta of Luigi's Mansion is something that has a legendary status on the internet.
My God,
Little footage have been seen from it, and the creepypastas and fan theories portray the game to be really creepy. A scene from an old trailer of the game portrays a depressed zombie-like Luigi standing outside the mansion. Many people thought that this was the original Game Over screen.
that was scary? Is that where they got the inspiration for, Luigi for Five Nights at Wario's? He kind of looks like that, long face. That is not scary.
Game Over screen.
Oh, we're gonna be here forever.
Vulgar Mario sprite animations.
What the hell? What the hell did
This
they?
enters
Oh,
the plethora of Mario sprite animations
Come on,
that are
man.
not meant for kids, including one that's coming up later on this list.
okay.
Haunted Gaming. This
I liked Hunt. Okay, I don't like that image. I don't like that one. That one, it still not scares me, but it unsettles me. I don't like how it looks.
refers to the
Haunted
Creepypasta
Gaming was great
Haunted.
series. I think that's literally how I discovered some ordinary gamers. I think it was, I forgot which one it was. I think it was like some random creepypasta. It was like either a Gumball creepypasta, or a Pac-Man, like Infinite Pac-Man or some shit.
Gaming made by Mutahar of Some Ordinary Gamers. As a kid, I thought that Some Ordinary Gamers created all creepypastas that they read,
You're dumb.
leading me to dislike the channel and Mutahar as a whole.
What? How do you come up with that conclusion?
Scary car commercial. This is a classic. This video is a commercial for an energy coffee drink. The point of the commercial was to scare the viewer and to get their heart pumping, like as if they would have drank this coffee drink. The first upload of it on YouTube tells you to watch the car carefully and listen to the audio, only for a zombie to pop out.
If I remember, this was like a British commercial. So unless you lived in Britain, or like your parents want to troll you, they'd put this on, and they'd just be like, "Look at this cool car," and you're like, "Where?" That never happened to me. I think it was like it was a maze game. It's probably show up, but I didn't play it. My dad showed me videos of people playing it because it was funny, just seeing them like skits out. But yeah, unless you were in Britain, that wouldn't scare you like normally. I think it would jump scare you, sure, but if you weren't there,
Inflation scenes. This enters a
Jesus Christ.
scenes in media where a character's body gets inflated. Not much more than that.
that's not scary. That's just weird. People be freaky.
K4ia Vor Animations. K4ia was a YouTube channel who would
Vor.
release animations of cartoon characters eating each other whole. The videos got way more views than they deserved, both from
What the
innocent kids just clicking a video with a familiar character that had a weird thumbnail to people who were into that kind of thing. Later down the line, lots of kids who watch these videos developed vor fetishes.
How do you know that? Are you speaking from experience, bro? What? Dude, I watched two episodes of Adventure Time. One of them, they go into a game. The other one, it's like Dreamlanders or something. I have no clue. But Lemonhead eats his sister for breaking a doll. That didn't give me a vor liking. That just weirded me out and stopped me from watching Adventure Time because I was just I did not like that. Spanish MS Paint SpongeBob.
MS Paint SpongeBob animations. This refers to many weird and
Come
sometimes
on.
creepy Microsoft Paint animations.
That's
of
creepy to you?
SpongeBob that were usually made by Spanish-speaking people. Scary maze games.
Oh, don't blame the Spanish-speaking people. I saw Chinese SpongeBob. That was just weird. It was ugly.
Scary Maze game lives on in
Yep.
infamy as something that we all got scared by
No.
or scared someone with. The game presents as a simple brain test, as just a maze. You go through some pretty easy mazes until you reach a difficult area. Halfway through it, the face of the girl from The Exorcist shows up and a loud scream plays. Good stuff. Zim harvests his peers inside him. This refers to the episode Dark Harvest from the Nickelodeon show Invader Zim. The show was
I never watched Invader Zim. I watched Teen Titans and SpongeBob. So
already on the darker side, which is why you always see emo girls wearing Hot Topic brand shirts in the show. But
I mean,
this episode was darker
maybe?
than the rest. In this episode, Zim harvests his classmates' organs, and that's all I'm gonna say about that.
why is he selling it on a black market? Why would he? What? Again, I've never seen Invader Zim.
Scar's death.
Scar's death was scary.
The death of Scar, the antagonist of the Lion King.
No, he deserved
Violent
it.
scene in an otherwise kid-friendly movie.
Violent scene, dude. It was more horrifying seeing his own brother throw him off into a stampede. I wouldn't say horrifying, but it was more upsetting. That was just
Sailor
deserved.
Moon villains.
Sailor
The
Moon
of
villains.
Sailor Moon had some creepy moments, but weren't over.
Come on now. Come on. This lady, creepy moments? Are you serious? I can't wait to hear what he says. But Sailor Moon is not scary.
Not that bad in my opinion. But
Okay.
if you were a little kid seeing some of the creepier moments these characters had, I can see how that could stick with you. Ouija.
You weren't gonna elaborate on that? What part of them is scary? Hot emo lady. What? This girl's golden. I don't know what this girl's trying to be. She's trying to be like... I have no joke there. What is she doing? Looking for God? This just looks like goth Sailor Moon. Oh my god.
Creepier moments these characters had, I can see how that could stick with you. Ouija.
Ouija.
Oh man. You had to be there. Ouija was a huge meme in the YouTube poop community. The original Ouija is from the PC port of Mario is Missing. This sprite of Luigi was spread all over the internet and nicknamed Ouija for its creepy appearance.
Dude, why are all your images so bad quality? I can count the pixels. I hope the video gets better. Not better, but better in quality. Because everything's pixelated.
What really made him creepy was the Ouija virus.
The Ouija virus.
If you got the Ouija virus, then your head would turn into Ouija's. There was also a Ouija computer virus, which scared me out of downloading free arcade games from the internet.
Okay.
Missing No was a glitch Pokemon.
Oh my god, bruh.
Game. It had a glitched appearance and an overall mysterious and creepy vibe, which was incredibly creepy for some young
Dude,
kids.
it's just code. Or binary lines. That should not have scared you as a kid. That was just like, ew, that looks weird. Go away. Kill it.
SpongeBob close-ups. Remember those scenes in SpongeBob where they would zoom in on a character and have a very gross/grotesque version of that character or thing? Well, as a little kid, that stuff was creepy.
How?
Imagine being like 3 years old and seeing this.
That was more gross out. What?
SpongeBob Flying Dutchman.
Oh my god. Oh, I think I know what this
Flying
is.
Dutchman from SpongeBob. It's pretty self-explanatory, but if you don't know, this character has some pretty creepy moments and puts SpongeBob and Patrick through some pretty bad stuff. There's also an episode where he's SpongeBob's roommate.
That's funny.
He transforms
That's a funny.
into very
Okay, that one was
forms,
weird.
which I know definitely scared a lot of kids.
That should not
Bloody
scare you.
stick figure animations. Back in the 2000s, stick figures fighting was the coolest thing for some reason. Lots of these animations were bloody and violent, which scared lots of kids, including me. Nowadays, these videos are very nostalgic.
How did that scare you? They're fighting stickmen. They don't even look. I mean, they look human. They have human features. But that should not have scared you. It's blood. Come on now.
But back then, they were pretty scary to some. Booba.
Booba.
Booba was an old show that was kind of similar to Teletubbies. I personally loved it back when I was like 2 or 3 years old, but seeing footage of it nowadays, I can totally see how kids found
Dude,
this
they're like
creepy.
birthing themselves.
It's just weird and doesn't make sense most of the time.
Yeah,
I
that's
can
why
barely
that's why we
imagine-
watched Teletubbies. Teletubbies was better. It's based. I grew up on that. I had a VHS.
Imagine being a younger kid, seeing this late at night or early in the morning, and just being scared and confused by the weird.
No, you're just
lights and
confused
colors.
and having a stroke.
Honestly, I don't know what they were thinking. Family Guy. This
Come-
is pretty self-explanatory, but some might be confused by it.
Yeah,
When I was
I
a
am.
kid, I was frequently warned not to watch shows like Family Guy, The Simpsons, and South Park, as they were inappropriate and scary.
I was only told not to watch Family Guy and South Park. Simpsons were fine. I remember we watched the Simpsons movie. That was funny. But yeah, Family Guy and South Park where I could not watch. I was not allowed to.
Family Guy itself went through a super edgy phase in the 2000s, and lots of kids were witness to very violent and bloody scenes when watching the show, either with an older sibling or maybe on Adult Swim when the kid wasn't supposed to be watching. I can totally see why people suggested this. Happy Appy. Happy Appy was an incredibly popular.
Okay, here we go. Happy outing. Something that was actually unsettling. I don't like the way the lips look. Look too human. But that's about it. Things that aren't humans having human features are always going to be unsettling. At least to me.
Creepypasta about an old Nick Jr. TV show about a claymation apple on a rusty stick helping kids with their injuries.
Yeah, apparently this guy would like use a chainsaw. Yeah, imagine getting killed by an apple. But apparently he predicted 9/11.
Eventually, the show gets all evil and starts to predict real-world actual
Yeah, there we go.
tragedies and depicts kids getting hurt. The writer then starts getting stalked by the creator, who's like a monster guy or something. It's not a great story, but at the time it was very creepy, and I thought it might have actually existed. I remember looking
No
at
way.
YouTube videos online claiming to display real footage of the show, and obviously they were fake, but it was still cool to think about. THX logo. Here, let me just play it.
Is it gonna blow out my eardrums? I swear to God, if you say that scared you, I'm gonna throw a monkey sack.
This thing scared a lot of kids because of the loud sound. I
How?
personally always liked the logo since it would usually play before my Star Wars and Toy Story DVDs, so I knew I was in for something good after it. But there were many comments talking about how much this scared them, and I get it. Often the sound was way louder than the rest of the audio coming from the TV, so it could really just come as a shock.
Yeah, the first
Twilight
time.
goes crazy.
Wait, what?
This is referring to an episode of My Little Pony by the
I never
name
watched My Little
Lesson
Pony.
Zero, where after trying very hard to solve a friendship problem that isn't there, Twilight snaps and decides to make one. The following scenes show her being crazy with this face. Yeah, I remember this freaking me out back in the day, and it was
Is that why they got the murder Pinkie Pie face? Because this was canon?
in the Brony community.
Brody
The
community.
glitch.
The glitch.
The glitch was an old video from the channel Corridor Digital. It was basically a video game crossover with a bunch of different characters suffering through a glitchy world. The scariest scene in my opinion is this one of Mario clipping through the floor. His face starts to
Oh my God,
get
he's going to the
deformed
back-
and creepy as he
the back
utters his
rooms.
final words being "help me." Eventually, Minecraft Steve unplugs the world and the video ends. I was always fascinated with this video, finding it through the Kids React video on it, and yeah,
What the hell?
It was pretty scary. The House
You're literally just playing Gmod at that point.
of the Dead.
House of the
games.
Dead.
The House of the Dead is a series of arcade games where you shoot zombies and save survivors.
Okay, pretty.
The games are awesome, but being a little kid seeing one of them at the arcade, movie theater, or bowling alley could be pretty creepy. I think just the whole concept of having zombies coming at you and blasting them to bloody bits is pretty disturbing for a younger kid.
That was scary? Nah, dude. When I saw something like this, I'd be like, oh my God, Dad, let's play this. Or I would go to my brother. He was way too short at the time. He was young. But me and my dad would try this. This was fun. We would try like Aliens or fucking the Terminator one. Something that actually scared me was when I walked into his room, he was playing the old Doom 3, and it was a scene where the hell portal had opened and they started possessing everyone. And which one? Lost Soul. It was a Lost Soul. He went through the screen and possessed some dude. That spooked me. But then again, I was like 3, 4. I might have been 4. That was scary because it was all dark. That's
House
actually
of the Dead is best known online thanks to the terrible voice acting in the second game.
I've been waiting for you, friends.
the hell.
Goldman, do you know what you're doing?
I'm fully aware of what I'm doing. Can't you see? Man committed a sin, disturbing the life cycle of nature.
It sounds like a foreigner is
Original
reading
sin that
English.
Man is responsible to
Or like
protect
AI.
The life cycle.
Happy Wheels. Oof.
Come
this
on
one hits
now.
close to home. Happy Wheels is an incredibly popular game that was all over YouTube back in the early 2010s. The game basically consisted of the player trying to direct someone on a vehicle through an obstacle course made to kill them. What made the game scary
It's
to
fun.
me and many other kids was the gore.
Really?
Though unrealistic, the blood and guts disturbed a lot of kids, and that's why the community suggested it.
Okay, that's cap. You wanna know what I do? I get the lawnmower guy, and specifically try and lift the lawnmower up to grind to like blend people into it. Is that just me? It was not scary.
Sonic.exe. Sonic.exe
Okay, here we
is a
go.
classic creepypasta about an evil copy of Sonic. The story itself was and is terrible, but there was some pretty creepy imagery involved. What scared me the most is the game that someone made to go along with the story.
It was
The
the
game
loud
had some
sound.
pretty creepy imagery, including this image. This I am God screen really just stayed in my mind whenever I was trying to go to sleep.
Come on,
This,
dude.
of course, scared tons of kids and solidly enforced itself in our collective memory. There are a bunch of sequels to the story, and they're all
Yeah,
pretty terrible.
Sally.exe.
New Sponge.
New
This
sponge.
entry is referring to a scene in SpongeBob SquarePants where SpongeBob does a commercial shoot and gets used as an actual sponge.
I remember that.
This scared lots of kids and especially me. I was probably like 2 or 3 years old when
How?
I saw this, and it made me never want to watch SpongeBob again. Seeing SpongeBob in pain being used for disgusting things was always very disturbing. We are like brothers.
What?
but closer. This entry is referring to this scene from SpongeBob.
Okay, that scene was so funny. But closer. That was funny.
Yeah, it's pretty weird and kind of unsettling. I personally find it pretty funny, but I could totally see how lots of people could find it creepy. Toy Story Monkey. Let's be real. This
Okay,
monkey is terrifying.
That was a little creepy.
When I first saw Toy Story 3 in the theaters, I just looked away because of how scary I found it.
The only time it was scary is when it would start freaking out and like banging its cymbals or what the hell they're called, banging them together and clacking them. That's the only time it would be a little scary.
I feel like the animators purposely made this monkey terrifying. To
Yeah, 'cause they're already
feel like a
terrifying.
threat. The monkey itself is actually a real-life toy, which is
Yeah,
just as creepy. In
that's
real life.
creepy. Why?
I also want to mention that these little monkeys were used as grenades in the Call of Duty Zombies
The
franchise.
monkey.
They scared kids there too. Honestly,
No.
like
You wanna know why? Dark Deception. That was scary.
when they first made this toy, it wasn't made to be scary. This was supposed to be a children's toy for kids to play with. But
Maybe pick a more lovable monkey than a chimp. Chimps aren't meant to be cute or cuddly.
it's
They're meant to
so
rip your face off.
bizarre. Wallace and Gromit: Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
I like that movie.
This was a movie about Wallace and Gromit starting a pest control business. I'm not gonna spoil it, but eventually Wallace turns into a rabbit, which scared a lot of kids, including my friend Will.
How?
I know you're watching, Will.
You're not gonna elaborate it
But
or
yeah,
show
it
it?
was actually pretty
Okay.
scary to a lot of kids. The fact that it's stop motion alone makes it pretty creepy on its own, but the imagery and story are pretty scary as well.
It's a rabbit.
Brian.
Okay,
Brian was the
this is where I'm gonna get the most hate. If you think Herobrine was scary, you have a deficiency. I always saw Herobrine and I laughed at people who had that. And mind you, I was like, 2013, I was, okay. I was like 9 or 10 when I found out what Herobrine was. And it was just the silliest thing. It's Steve with white eyes. That's it. No jump scares, nothing. He just appears. Oh wow, he made a hole deep. That's like 60 blocks deep. I'm playing on a single player world. Okay, fine. But how is that scary? He just made you a mineshaft. If it's not constantly jump scaring you or giving you a virus, it's not scary.
#1 boogeyman of early Gen Z kids.
No.
The story goes that someone playing Minecraft saw a strange figure with a default skin and no eyes. The player posted it on the Minecraft forums, but it got deleted. He later emailed Notch, the creator of Minecraft, asking if he had a brother. Notch responds with, "I used to, but he is no longer with us." Many kids fell for this.
Where do you think that? Wait, is it just a story, or did some guy like just randomly ask, "Do you have a brother?"
Whole ton of fake Herobrine videos, including this one, which I made when I was 9.
What's scarier is your voice.
Chef gets boiled alive ad. This was a public service announcement
Oh,
aired on some children's
I never actually watched this.
networks.
Wait, what? Chef gets bull. I've never seen this one, but I've seen like the beforehand.
She picks up a pot full of boiling oil and then slips, leading the oil to fall on her skin. She screams and it shows a shot of her face with the skin.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh,
Yeah, the skin.
why would you-
When I was a little kid. Let's move on. I feel fantastic. I feel fantastic.
Okay, I do gotta give you this one. This one was spooky.
Android woman singing about.
I don't like how she looks.
fantastic.
Yeah.
For some, this is incredibly disturbing.
The song go
Others
kinda
think
hard,
it's
though.
Funny, and others are in the middle. That's where I find myself. The video has a made-up backstory saying that the video.
Where did I
creator is a
first see this
serial
video?
killer. He wishes that his victims would say that they felt fantastic as he was killing them. The story also goes.
That's
that
not
the
what I
clothes on
heard.
The robot are the clothes of the victims. The shot of the backyard is where they were buried. This is not true, but it is a fun creepypasta.
I don't like how.
Tom Goes to Hell. The old Tom and Jerry cartoons were really a product of their time.
How? That was great animation. For like, what, the 50s? 60s? I don't know when Tom and Jerry came out, but I love that. Always entertaining. Always new things. Him going to hell was the least of the worries.
The unending cartoon violence wouldn't really fit today.
Yeah, it would.
That's
It could.
just cartoon violence. Nothing genuinely scary. Except for the time that Tom went to hell.
He went to hell, bro!
There are a couple scenes of the devil torturing Tom, and the imagery of this cartoon is, well, pretty creepy. That
How?
would definitely scare any kid who didn't know what was going on. Al Oni.
What? How? He looks so goofy! It's just a dog with horns! And he's red! With a Triton. With the pitchfork? Triton? I don't know.
That would definitely scare any kid who didn't know what was going on. Ao Oni. This is a free
Ao Oni.
playing horror video game.
I like
The game
this one.
features puzzle and RPG elements that
Markiplier was the best one
revolve
at it.
around a boy named Hiroshi who is trapped with his friends in a haunted mansion and stalked by a monster. This game was played by big YouTubers such as PewDiePie and Markiplier. Said YouTubers have a large audience of kids, so it makes sense that kids would be scared by this and the nightmarish imagery in the game.
No.
DNA Productions.
The only time it would be scary was when there's like a certain scene where it just rushes you and it's like a close-up. That was the only scary part. The rest of it, it goes so... Oh, I've just muted it. He moves at a snail's pace.
DNA Productions is the studio behind Jimmy Neutron. I think
Okay.
this entry on the Iceberg
Rookie!
refers to the logo with a short animation with a three-eyed monkey saying...
Hi, I'm Paul.
You can see how this could totally scare kids who were just
It's just
watching
Sheen.
cartoons on Nick.
It sounds like Sheen.
The Shrexorcist.
The Shrek...
is a parody of The Exorcist on the Halloween special showcase
Come on now.
Scared Shrekless. The Shrexorcist sees Shrek trying to exorcise Pinocchio as he was supposedly possessed. Turns out it's just Jiminy Cricket inside his head. Pinocchio proceeds to crush Jiminy Cricket. Clearly, this could be really creepy to kids just wanting to watch some funny Shrek shorts, but in my opinion, the short with Gingy and his evil girlfriend is way creepier than Shrexorcist.
What?
Ba-
How? I know I keep saying how, but it just boggles my mind how some of these things could scare you. Gingy, with his gingerbread girlfriend, and her being psychotic, was not scary. It was entertaining. And then she spawns like 6 other clones of her, and they're all trying to kill him because she's like, "Oh, you can't leave me!" Come on, bro, up your game.
Bambi's mom is killed. If you ever watched Bambi as a kid, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I never watched Bambi.
Sonic CD.
I just know what it is.
Infinite. This was a hidden screen that could be accessed by entering a code in the Sonic CD sound test screen.
Okay.
This
The first time I saw this image was when I was watching Wade's Markiplier's friend play an RPG Maker game called Creepypasta Land. The character, or like the main character, can touch a old Sega Genesis or whatever it's called, and this image would pop up. How is this scary? It looks like Eggman.
Features these demonic Sonic faces.
Demonic,
and
okay.
Japanese text that reads, "The fun is infinite." The screen is pretty infamous online in the early 2010s. Maynard's elevator ad. This is a Canadian commercial for Maynard's wine gums.
Okay.
It features the head of a moose hypnotizing a man into walking into an elevator and eating wine gums. You can totally see how this would freak out any kids unfortunate enough to see it.
How? It's a moose head.
This is referring to a close-up of SpongeBob and Patrick's pet butterfly, Wormy. Close-up is just footage of a butterfly.
Come on.
Close up, but it has a weird buzzing noise.
It was
in the
funny. It was a
background,
funny
making it
episode.
Pretty creepy. Mr. Creepypasta FNAF audios.
So creepy.
These were videos portraying
Oh,
Freddy
right.
Fazbear's Pizza and other notable events in the FNAF
I know this
timeline,
guy.
such as the Bite of 87. These videos were out before FNAF was as big as it is today. These videos were beloved by the fandom, including me.
I don't
when
remember
was
watching
10
them.
years old.
I just know who he is.
One missed call. What will it sound like when you die?
This okay. My dad used to have like a whole collection of like horror movies, and I would go through them to like see what they are. I hated looking at this. It was creepy looking at the image. I've always put it back. There's another image. Or another movie. It was like, I think it was an Asian movie, but it had like the same concept. It had a creepy girl, like ghost demon girl on the front. I didn't like looking at it.
In one missed call, a chain of people received terrifying phone messages of their own fatal moments. Though the messages can be deleted, their number is up. Reads the movie synopsis. Yeah, I would not want to watch this or its trailers as a kid either.
Just the case
Max
itself.
Sugar Rush. Max Sugar Rush was a thing that would happen in the show Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. The main character, Mac, eats sugar and then goes crazy, acts like a junkie. Clearly, this is disturbing to younger kids.
Disturbing to younger kids? Come on now. Really? Even the way it's animated isn't scary. Who are these kids getting scared by this? Preschoolers? 2-year-olds?
Eats sugar and then goes crazy, acts like a junkie. Clearly, this is disturbing to younger kids. 3 Lame Studios. This is a YouTube channel that would produce
I don't know who this guy
terrible,
is.
cheap animations featuring characters that were famous at the time, i.e.
So, like, Brain Rot?
Undertale, Minecraft, Five Nights at Freddy's, etc. If you're a
2
viewer
years?
of
Okay.
Brony Plays, then it's likely that you've heard a couple references to this bizarre YouTube channel. Adult clay animations. This is kind of a broad one, but I
Okay.
feel like it's mostly referring to Simpsons Couch Gag Part 1, You're Next, by Lee
What?
Hardcastle. Lots of kids clicked on this video because of the innocent-looking thumbnail.
It does not look
I was
innocent.
one of those
Lisa right here? Something's up with her. Whoever did the clay animation messed her face up.
kids. This is a really, really disturbing animation featuring Bart
Sure it is.
Simpson's bullies breaking into the Simpson house and brutally murdering everyone until Marge gets revenge, killing the bullies, only to bleed out. This
Damn.
animation is really well done, but incredibly disturbing, and definitely something that most early Gen Z kids would remember.
I don't.
1990. This one is
It.
pretty self-explanatory. Seeing it or scenes from it as a kid is a great source of childhood trauma. Blizzetta Boss.
No, I wouldn't say it. I think looking at the cover page, that was creepy. And I think me and my family tried to watch it, or they did. I wasn't there. I like dipped out. I'm like, I don't want to watch horror movies.
In The
That's
Legend
scary.
of Zelda Twilight Princess, the boss battle.
That was when I first saw it. I'm like, oh my god. But then it didn't tell me I'm gonna stop playing this game. It's a Zelda game. Come on.
Blizzetta had a creepy rotating face. That
She was a cool boss fight.
Freddy Fazbear's Laugh. Freddy Fazbear's laugh is that of a little girl's, only slowed down.
It's a Freddy Fazbear. No, come on now.
Freddy moves around in the original Five Nights at Freddy's game. This would
only in the dark.
stuck in people's heads and freak them out. Judge Doom's reveal.
Who the hell is Judge Doom?
Is the antagonist
Oh!
Framed Roger Rabbit. He is creepy as hell. He's a half-human, half-cartoon hybrid who can be crushed by a steamroller.
It was
and blow
funny.
himself back up.
Also, why does
I would not
bro
want
looks
to see
like
this guy.
whatchamacallit? He has an interesting outfit design. That's to say the least.
Judge Doom.
I've seen some. I remember now. He looks like the Nazi from Indiana Jones from the first movie. The made a cultist guy. He totally looks like that.
Framed Roger Rabbit. He is creepy as hell. He's a half-human, half-cartoon hybrid who can be crushed by a steamroller and blow himself back up. I would not want to see this guy in my dreams. SuicideMouse.avi. This is a creepypasta about a lost Mickey Mouse.
This
cartoon
wasn't
that
really
caused people
scary.
to go crazy. There's some portrayals of it on YouTube which were very scary to me and many other kids of my age.
No. Oh, what the? Okay, that spooked me. Thanks for putting a jump scare, ass.
Scottish anti-drug photograph ad. This was a
That's what it
commercial
was.
in Scotland by the name of Photograph. It shows a photo of a woman smiling that slowly shows the effects of hard drugs on the body. Her face gets super messed up, and it starts displaying other faces.
She's turning into a vent zombie.
Very creepy stuff. Shy Guy Unmasked.
Shy Guy
Ever
Unmasked.
wonder what the Shy Guy from Super Mario looked like with
Kinda.
a mask? I sure did. This entry could be referring to some creepy art of the Shy Guy
God.
maskless, but
Ugh.
it's most likely referring to the Shy Guy ghosts in Luigi's Mansion. You can suck the masks right off these ghosts and reveal their faces. Honestly,
Are you
they aren't all that
serious?
scary to me, but I can
Oh,
see
okay.
why a kid might be scared by it.
No kid would be scared.
Violet turns into a blueberry. This is obviously
I remember
referring
that.
to both Willy Wonka and the
That was
Chocolate
not scary.
Factory and
It was
Charlie
just
and the
weird.
Chocolate Factory. I can totally see a kid being scared of this scene and the existential horror it provides. What scared me most about this scene is that Willy Wonka
She turns into a Smurf
Oompa
after.
Loompa who turned into a blueberry. Said Oompa Loompa is never seen in the movies, so I always thought he just died.
Probably.
Coco from Animal Crossing. I
the hell's
just look at
Coco?
This thing. That's creepy.
No, it isn't.
Scared Shrekless.
Again?
Shrexorcist, which was that earlier entry on this Iceberg, was from this special. Scared Shrekless has a ton of scary moments. Everything from
It's
the
just
band
parodies.
Duloc, the creepy place song, and of course the stories the characters tell. The one that Puss and Donkey tell always scared me as a kid. Mario
I
Gets
don't remember.
Possessed. Mario Gets Possessed is one of those old Mario plush
Oh my
videos
God.
made by kids. In this video, the Mario plush gets possessed by a boo. The kids put paper on his eyes to portray it. This video is not scary nowadays, but I can see how little
Blood,
people
come
get
on
scared
now.
by it. Where the Wild Things Are movie. Where the Wild Things Are.
I hated that book
Classic
in
children's
elementary
book
school.
written by
It was
Maurice
so dumb.
Sendak.
It looks ugly.
In 2009, a movie adaptation was released, and it was terrible. It was incredibly realistic looking, and for some reason, there was a lot of nightmarish imagery.
It looked hideous.
Especially a scene where one of the Wild Thing's arms gets ripped off. Yeah, I got no idea what they were thinking. The movie flopped in the box office, and not many people actually liked it that much. It wasn't a good adaptation of the
ugly.
book, and it was just overall disturbing. Spirit Halloween animatronics. This one is pretty
Okay,
self-explanatory,
yeah.
but it makes sense. For those
It's
who
a
don't know,
Halloween. Those
Spirit
scared the shit out of
Halloween
me.
is a seasonal Halloween chain
I won't
store
even
that
lie.
started in 1983. They've usually got animatronics on display that you can activate with a little stepping pad. A lot of the time, the animatronics would spring to life and just terrify kids. I remember once I was at a spirit
Yeah,
store and
they
I
would
saw
jump.
kids step on the pad and get jump scared. The kid
No,
was
the worst is the false stepping on it. What I mean by that, I could probably use a better word. You would step on that, it wouldn't move, then you get near it, then it would jump. It would wait for you. You could step on it as many times as you wanted, but as soon as you got near it, or like really close to it, it would jump or move.
so startled that he basically flew backwards. And it
Yeah,
was
see, like that kid.
Jurassic Park death scenes. This one is very self-explanatory. The scenes in Jurassic Park where a human would get eaten alive were very frightening when you saw them as a kid.
No.
SpongeBob.
Okay, you wanna know what I saw as a kid? Dawn of the Dead, the remake. I think I watched it with my dad. I think. I'm not so sure. But I may have either watched it with my dad, or I walked in on a scene while he was out where this lady was getting eaten behind a like on the back of the bus, and she was nowhere. She wasn't able to do anything. She was just being eaten alive. That was spooky. That's scarier than Jurassic Park. I'll tell you that.
This entry is referring to a scene of SpongeBob, and yeah, it's pretty weird. Turns out this face is actually Tom Kenny, the voice actor of SpongeBob. Many people had commented about how much this scene scared them, and yeah, I get it. To those who were traumatized by this, I'm sorry for bringing it back into your memory.
That traumatized you?
I'm scared. I'm Scared is a meta horror game that protagonist is the player, putting them in a surreal first-person experience. The game
I've never watched much about this.
Played by big YouTubers like Markiplier. It's most famous for this face.
Yep, I'm scared face.
Pretty creepy. Return of Raggedy Android.
Who the hell is Raggedy Android?
This was an episode of the Nickelodeon cartoon My Life as a Teenage Robot.
God, there's so many memes about this
Android. The main
android.
character is a robot who gets treated like a robot by the people around her. She doesn't like this and wants to be treated like a real human girl.
But she's not.
So her creator makes a skin suit that she can wear to make her look like a human.
The
thing clings on her like
you think that was a good idea?
Spider-Man, and it's pretty unsettling. Eventually, the exoskin very creepily attacks XJ9 while she's sleeping, and it's just unnerving. Imagine a little kid watching TV only to see this. Yeah, I 100% understand why this scares me.
That'd be weird.
I first saw the episode in 2018, and even then I was surprised that this aired on Nickelodeon. SpongeBob Gorilla.
It was Nickelodeon? I thought it was Cartoon Network.
This entry is referring to that scene.
I love this episode. Spinel gets his ass broken, and now he can't take any damage.
SpongeBob, where Patrick dresses up as a gorilla, only to reveal a live-action person in a gorilla suit.
That was funny.
Patrick's skin suit. The Gorilla Man then puts Patrick and Sandy in a bag and starts smashing against the floor and beating it up in a bunch of different ways. Eventually, the gorilla takes SpongeBob and rips him in half. SpongeBob then asks what a gorilla is doing underwater. The gorilla then flees with a little horse guy.
Yeah, that was. It made no sense.
Weird. The end of the scene perfectly encapsulates my feelings on it. Jonah Pumpkin Seed. This entry is referring to a scene in VeggieTales.
I never watched
Pirates
VeggieTales.
Don't do anything, and Jonah from the Bible enter an arena and get captured.
Jonah from the Bible was in VeggieTales? What the? What? Am I missing something? Was VeggieTales Christian?
Then put in guillotines, and they see a pumpkin with a face on it get smashed by the blade. Yeah, honestly, it's pretty violent and off-putting when watching as a little kid. You wouldn't really expect something like this from VeggieTales.
It wasn't that violent. It was
Garfield Show Exterminator ad. This entry is referring
hell does that
to an
mean?
episode of the Garfield Show where John Arbuckle's house is full of mice. John then shows Garfield an advert for an extermination company. It shows 2D animation of mice being exterminated while a voice maniacally advertises the company's services. I used to be a huge fan of the Garfield Show back in the day, and I kind of remember this freaking me out.
the Asiatic.
The Mayan calendar.
The Mayan calendar? Are you serious?
Calendar is used in pre-Columbian Mesoamerica and in many modern countries in the Guatemalan highlands. The year 2012 was suspected to be the end of the world because the Mayan calendar ended in that year.
Okay.
Of course, nothing happened, but there was a lot of speculation as to what would happen. And of course, the threat of the end of the world was a very disturbing and anxiety-inducing thing to many Gen Z children.
You wanna know why? Because I didn't care. Either that, I wasn't aware. When the day came, where they're like, "Oh my God, it's gonna happen," dude, I think I remember. Me and my family might have just been eating Jack in the Box. That's it. We talked about it, and then nothing happened.
I remember learning about it through a video on that old 3DS video platform with those little dinosaur claymations. Apparently,
I like
calendar isn't
those.
accurate, and it's actually 2021 that's supposed to be the end of the world, or 2022.
Oh, it already happened.
So, yeah.
I like those dinosaurs. I remember getting, was it the Triceratops or the Brachiosaurus? They got completely sniped by the T-Rex boss.
Horror stories. This one is pretty self-explanatory. 2-sentence horror stories are just that. The one that scared me the most goes a little something like this. I begin tucking him into bed, and he tells me, "Daddy, check for monsters under my bed." I look underneath for his amusement, and I see him, another him, under the bed, looking back at me, quivering and whispering, "Daddy, there's somebody on my bed."
The
Don't
hell?
hug me, I'm scared.
No, you wanna know what was scary? Not fuck. Screw those 2-sentence horror stories. Nah, the scary stories with like the creepy images, like creepy drawings. Those are scary. Not because of the story. I don't keep shit about the story. But the actual images were the scary, were like the good part.
So this was the #1 requested entry.
I never watched
got
Don't Hug Me, I'm scared.
On
It looked
every
dumb.
Iceberg video asking why this wasn't on the list. Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is a series of videos created by British filmmakers Becky Sloan and Joseph Pelling that are essentially a parody of kids shows, but they're the exact opposite. The first episode released in 2011 and it caught the eye of many, many people. If
Really? It's that
you
old?
haven't seen a Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared video, then I suggest that you do. Essentially, they all start off like innocent puppet shows until an inanimate object comes to life and starts singing to the puppets and teaching them a lesson. It seems fine at first, but the lessons are always very flawed and incorrect. The series has spawned tons and tons of fan theories, with the biggest ones being about how media influences the youth in negative ways. That's a very simplified version of explaining it, since there were tons of little hidden things in the videos, and if you haven't watched Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, then I suggest that you do. Maybe just pause this video, watch the series, it's very, very good.
Yeah.
Garbage Pail Kids. So this one is more of an 80s kid thing, but I know it sure scared me. Garbage Pail
just looked
Kids
weird.
was a brand of trading cards parodying the Cabbage Patch Dolls. Lots of these
Oh my god.
disturbing designs and
Jesus Christ.
there was also a movie which was critically panned and had
Oh,
disgusting
what the
designs
hell?
for the characters. I remember watching the Irate Gamers video on them and being really scared of the characters, and that preventing me from sleeping a few times. Ren and Stimpy.
I didn't watch Ren and Stimpy.
Was a
I have a Ren and
classic
Stimpy
Nickelodeon
shirt.
cartoon show that many
My dad likes
have
Ren and
fond
Stimpy.
memories of. The show had a lot of really gross humor in it, which could often be scary to younger kids.
Wasn't it meant for
I feel
adults,
like
though?
generally it was for older audiences,
Yeah.
but a lot of younger audiences watched it as well and got scared. The creator of the show was a terrible person and a child predator.
Oh,
His name was
no.
John Chris Felucci.
I didn't know
Don't
that.
support him or his work. Blame It on Hoodham made a great video on the topic, so I suggest that you check that out.
The hell?
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory animatronics burning scene. So, in the 2005 Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie, they added a scene that wasn't in the book
Really?
or the original movie. It showed a bunch of animatronic dolls resembling
I don't think I've ever seen the remake of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I know Johnny Depp's in it.
It's a Small World characters from Disney, greeting the golden ticket winners with a song. Eventually some pyrotechnics go wrong and everything just goes up in flames. The animatronics start to melt and burn with eyeballs popping out and limbs falling off and just general scary imagery. I remember I always hated the scene whenever I watched this movie.
You wanna know why this wouldn't have scared me? Because before that, I had seen the Indiana Jones first movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah, guess what? It has the same exact image, except with people. That didn't scare me. I'm like, oh my god. I was like, ugh. But I like Raiders of the Lost Ark. It was cool. I haven't seen it in years, though.
And, well, so did you guys. Thomas Bull Scene. This is referring to a scene in Thomas the Tank Engine by the name of Bullseyes. A bull stands on the tracks while a train has to pass by. I can see how this bull character could be kind of unnerving, just
No,
standing
the
there
actual
being a
train is
weird
unnerving.
tiny
It looks
kid.
weird.
This entry was suggested by Jackson of the Chill Hour podcast, which I was on. As the name implies, it's very chill, so if you're interested, I would suggest checking it out. Shallow Waters. School PSAs.
Oh my god, how long have we been? We're barely 31 minutes in, but we're almost an hour into the stream. Let's go. We're really making it transformative here.
So this one is pretty self-explanatory, and I'm sure that you can see how something like this would be terrifying. I don't want this video to get hidden, since this is very sensitive material, but I think you guys would know how and why this would be true.
I think I know a few of them.
Black Licorice.
It was... Oh wait. I never saw the school PSAs, because I'd either turn off my brain or didn't care about them. But I remember a few YouTubers like talking about it. One of them being, I think it was Leafy. He was making fun of like a school shooter PSA, where it was like, "Oh my god, we didn't look at the signs," and this guy just comes out of here with an AK and opens and airs out a whole gym. The other one I saw was, "Oh, is your kid getting ready for school? Pack them with scissors and or like make sure they have skateboards," and their kids are like breaking the windows, and then at the end there's like girl texting her mom, she's like, "I love you," something "I love you," or like, "I won't see you again," and she's in the bathroom crying. It was just so ridiculous.
So, back in the day,
Oh.
Nickelodeon offered little flash games on their website called Clickamajigs. This one was for Halloween and featured little characters with the faces of kids going around trick-or-treating. You got a bowl of caramel and black licorice. If you give the kids caramel, they are happy. But eventually, you run out of caramel. If you give a kid black licorice, this is what happens.
Oh. Yeah, demon children. What the hell?
What the hell were they thinking? Who greenlit this and thought it was okay for kids?
A
It
troll.
was kind
That's
of a
why.
prank because you could then email the game to a friend and prank them, you know, having them not expect the jump scare, but still.
No. That's not a jump scare. That built up. If it was like in your face, that's a jump scare.
Most fancy toenail scene. Alright, so this one's a bit of a gory one, so
I
I'm
feel
just
like this
warning
one-
you now that this
what?
might be a bit triggering for some. So, for whatever reason, around season 6
God,
of SpongeBob,
ow, my eye.
they made this big shift in humor. where
Oh, I remember
these
that.
Really gross or really mean-spirited jokes.
Yeah, that wasn't creepy. That was just.
In this episode,
I was like,
SpongeBob was helping
oh
Squidward move
god.
furniture.
Yeah. Whoa,
They're
my
moving
god.
the couch around, and unfortunately, said couch falls directly
Oh
on
my God,
Squidward's
I
toe.
remember that. It
The
was
leg
so
of the couch
gross.
keeps falling on its toe,
God
and eventually
damn.
his toenail gets ripped out.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
don't know what they were thinking either. The scene is pretty hard to watch, and I don't really see how it's funny. The scene is
It affects me more now. I don't know why, but when I was a kid, I was kind of laughing at it way more. But it was just so ridiculous.
disturbing kids for many years, and it probably will continue to do so for years. Conker's Bad Fur Day Zombies. Alright, so Conker's Bad Fur Day was a game that parodied classic Rare games like Banjo-Kazooie. The game looked
No. Donkey Kong was also Rare, or made by Rare Studios, if I'm getting that correctly.
friendly, but was completely the opposite, and that was the joke. Some kids were bought the game by parents who couldn't tell that it wasn't your standard kid-friendly
You're an
collectible.
idiot, then.
The game was released in 2001 for the Nintendo 64 and later remade on the Xbox in 2005 with better graphics and gameplay. In these games, there were zombies that are honestly kinda creepy looking. Even though
They look
kids
like
were supposed
zombies.
to play this game, I still feel bad for the kids who did. These little cute characters with their eyeballs popping out are just
Oh my god.
yeah.
They had dismember?
Brian
What the?
Griffin's Bad Trip. Alright, so in the Family Guy episode, Seahorse Seashell Party, Brian Griffin takes mushrooms and has a really bad trip. We see the entire thing with animation that is far better than normal Family Guy. And it's very, very nightmarish. One of the most
I don't think Shrooms does that. I think bro had a bad DMT trip. He got taken to like the alternate dimension. No, this is the Alice in Wonderland dimension. What the hell?
things is when Brian finds Peter Griffin being cooked alive on a rotisserie while singing The Wheels on the Bus. The imagery and sounds are very disturbing. I imagine some kids might have just been flipping through channels only to find this disturbing shit.
Get that.
Mac Tonight. Alright, so this one probably relates more to older generations, but apparently this
Are you
kid-
serious?
Mac Tonight was a McDonald's mascot back in the 1980s, and you might recognize him from St. Pepsi's late
Yeah,
Night
St.
album. More specifically, the music video for the song Enjoy Yourself.
Yep.
I could see why Mac Tonight could be seen as creepy, but to me, he's actually pretty cool.
He's a gay Chad. Look at that. Look at that chin game. Yeah. Bo's been mewing for an
Mac Tonight could be seen
eternity.
as creepy, but to me, he's actually pretty cool. The commercials are really cool and they have an awesome vaporwave vibe going on, so if you're into that type of thing, I'd suggest checking them out.
This is cool.
Gregory's Room.
The hell is
Gregory's
Gregory's
Room is
room?
a creepypasta about a Nick Jr. show about a little character talking about how much fun he and everyone will have together in his room. A YouTuber by the name of
What the
Seinfeld
fuck?
Spitstain created
Ah.
a Jimmy Neutron Happy Family Happy Hour
Oh,
video,
that's why.
made a video displaying this alleged pilot, and it's pretty creepy. Eventually, Gregory states that it'll just be the two of you, alone in his room. No
Dear God,
parents, no police, no one to hear you scream. He needs love.
He's a predator.
Let's do a quick little hydration drinking game, alright? I say creepy a lot in these videos, you guys have pointed it out. Every time I say creepy, take a shot of water. You'll be very hydrated by the end of this.
Yeah, you'll probably die from water poisoning.
Tails doll. The Tails
Tails
doll
doll.
was a character in the game Sonic R that was just strange. The character creeped out a lot of kids playing, but that's not all. The reason most people are familiar with this character is the creepypasta that came out about it.
Oh,
Nowadays the story
my
is pretty
God.
silly, but it sure used to be creepy. It
He
ends
doesn't
with a
look
bloody
creepy,
plush
though.
form of the character appearing in the writer of the story's room.
Another plush that comes out of the screen.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of silly.
You don't
Alfred's
say.
Playhouse. Alright, this is a really weird, bizarre, and disturbing animation
You already. Is this a dome? You already messed up by going on Newgrounds. That's your fault.
series from Newgrounds. It's about a little character named Alfred going through a bunch of crazy set pieces, and honestly, it's kinda hard to watch.
Oh.
There are multiple episodes, and the whole thing is just really nonsensical and weird, and I'm glad I didn't have to watch through this as a kid.
Yeah, I didn't watch
I
that.
feel like it would just really upset me. Ponies sliding into boxes gone wrong. Alright, so back in the day, the Brony community was booming. Ponies
Oh
were
my
all
God.
over the internet, and if you were in that community, then you were having a lot of fun. If somehow you don't know what a Brony is, then let me just quickly...
You're living under a rock.
Brony is a mix of bro and pony. The term was created by fans of the show on the internet message board 4chan. Generally, ponies are
Why would you use a name for 4chan?
just male adult fans of My Little Pony, but kids can be bronies too. The female version is a Pegasus. The community
we
was
already know what they. No, they were definitely making fun of people. Why would you use that? Why would you accept that as a name?
online, so much that there were multiple Brony conventions in real life. The biggest and most official one being BronyCon, which I personally had a ton of fun at when I was 10 years old. Online
You
Brony
went to
fan
that?
videos were a
No
huge
what? Okay, no wonder this guy is scared of everything. He was a Brony.
thing, and there was this one series of animations that were beloved by the community, including me. Ponies sliding into boxes. There was this one little parody of the animations where it looked normal until one of the ponies slides into a box of
And
nails.
dies.
I remember loving the original animations and always being disturbed whenever the bloody version would play, and I'm sure that many other kids were.
It wasn't even that bad.
Bart. Dead Bart is a creepypasta about, shocker, Bart Simpson passing away. In the story,
Oh, I don't
the
like-
writer asks Simpsons creator Matt Groening about it. Matt then starts crying and gives him a DVD that doesn't work at first but eventually does.
Yeah, it gives him a virus or
The thing
something.
is, the story explains that the reason that some episodes of The Simpsons are counted weirdly officially is because there's a missing
Oh my
episode, being Dead Bart. The writer then sees a weird Simpsons episode from this DVD where
Yeah, it
Bart
flies
Simpson
out.
breaks an airplane window and gets sucked out of it and dies. The Simpsons visit his grave where his body lays, and then they start crying as the camera pans out only to show a bunch of graves displaying guest stars of The Simpsons, showing their death dates, which to some are accurate, such as Michael Jackson. This frame of Homer's face melting off from an episode of The Simpsons is often shown
I've never
alongside
seen
his
that.
Creepypasta, since he kinda looks like Bart in it.
Eh.
Overall, the story freaked me out despite not watching The Simpsons.
I only
It doesn't
heard about
really
it.
hold
I
up
didn't
that
really know
well in
about.
terms of a
Yeah,
story, but I still remember it fondly.
I think I only remember
Evil
the
Pickle.
image.
On
Evil
October
pickle.
16th, 2007,
What the hell?
the video The Evil Pickle was released. It features a gardener picking cucumbers from her garden, only for one to grow and kill her. Said
What?
Pickle then finds a boy playing piano and kills him too. A
Pickle
boy
Rick?
reading Harry Potter then starts fighting the evil pickle with a banana, eventually killing the pickle and eating it. Later, in 2018, a video by the name of Evil Pickle the Movie was released on the YouTube channel WCK Life, featuring two boys getting killed by an Evil Pickle Rick plush. There are some sequels to this video and they are all gold. Both of these Evil Pickle videos are extremely charming and I would just recommend giving them both a watch. Judge Doom's Death. Judge Doom is the antagonist
Oh, here we go.
of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. The character first gets steamrolled and then melted in a very brutal
You won't
way.
get away,
If you take a look at
swine!
the comments of the clip, you'll see people recounting how much this scared them. We crash.
We crashed.
This one is something that I can totally personally relate to. The Nintendo Wii would sometimes just crash.
It crashed?
Crash wouldn't just make the Wii turn off, no. The Wii would freeze and play a really loud, high-pitched tone.
Oh, I remember that. Oh god, I don't like that.
This always scared me a lot, since most of the time it would happen would be while using the Amazon Prime app or Netflix app, which made whatever you were
No, I remember that. Okay, side tangent. I don't like the emergency alert or those tests that they play on the phone. I don't like the tone they play. I don't know why it messes with me so bad, but it sends like a whole feeling up my body, of, like unsettlement and uncomfortability. I don't know. I'm not sure why. If you guys know anything, say something.
watching a
Or
lot
put
more
it in the
quiet
chat.
than other things on the Wii. So whenever it would crash, the sound was really loud. How many of you guys out there experienced this? Lost episodes. This
Make sure that, okay. Hold on. I gotta check something. Okay.
Entries referring to the subgenre of creepypastas, talking about episodes of what are usually kids shows that are dark and creepy and often have
Okay,
a
what
character
do we got here? I don't care
evil
enough.
or die or something. Often these creepypastas are very cheap and low effort stories with super
You don't
predictable
say.
plots and everything. Although I do remember being scared by quite a lot of these stories.
This is
When I
the
was like
image.
8 or so, it definitely makes sense that lots of other kids are scared by these too.
Yeah, I didn't
Seeing
like the
darker
Suicide
versions
Mouse.
of cartoons always freaked me out and made me see the originals in a different light a lot of the time.
Come on, dude. They're just fake. How do you see that in a different light?
Bloody Jigglypuff.
Bloody
This entry is
Jigglypuff.
referring to this iconic creepypasta picture
Oh,
of
okay, I see
Pokemon
it.
Jigglypuff with creepy bloody eyes.
I didn't
don't
see
know
that
much
much to get
say
afraid
about
of
this,
it.
but I do want to show you this video by Adam Tiller.
God, that's so awful. I hate Jigglypuff.
This image was used for the video
Lavender Town.
displaying the backwards version of the Lavender Town theme, and it's definitely pretty creepy. Madness Combat.
I love Madness
is a
Combat.
series of flash animations made by Matt Jolly, also known as Crinkles. The reason these
I
things
love
exist
Madness
is
Combat.
to display excessive violence, and as a kid, I really didn't like gore and bloody violence.
Bro, you're a wimp. That looks cool. That's so
I see someone
badass.
being really disturbed by this series.
Who?
There's also a Madness Combat Newgrounds game, which I just recently played for the first time, and it's actually very fun. These characters have made a resurgence recently, and I'm not exactly sure why. They might be in Friday Night Funkin' or something, but
They
lots
were.
of people are especially interested in Tricky the Clown.
Yeah, Tricky. Tricky's
Why that is, I'm not totally sure, but I'm gonna put him in the thumbnail so people click. Happy Mad.
okay. You know what? With okay, we're gonna do something new. Okay, we're gonna watch one of my favorite ones. Madness Combat 4. We're on episode 4. The best one. Okay, here we go. I feel like a nerd because the only way I found out about Madness Combat was because of Friday Night Funkin'. The Tricky mod. I'm like, whoa, that looks cool. And the music, I like it. But the thing is, I recognize them because there's a separate game. I forgot what it was called. I think it's like called Thing Shooter or something. It was another Flash game that like took their inspiration for like characters. So that's what I thought from. And then I realized, I'm like, oh, this is from Madness Combat. I've never heard this. And I watched all of them. Oh my god, has it not been showing? Oh, it stopped showing, okay. The music goes hard. Let's see if this is disturbing. You gotta give it to the animator. This is pretty good for Flash. You waited too long. Oh, the bus fight, the drop. The hell? One moment. What the hell? I just looked up. I just looked at my screen. Just what? Why is it doing that? Hold on. Hold on. Why is it doing that? Okay, when did it stop? Stop right about here. Yep. Okay. So it's. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Why is it? It's still dark. Is it not capturing it? OBS, why? Why are you doing this to me? Oh, that's so weird. Okay. We're... I don't know why it's doing that, or why it did that. Okay. It's Jesus. Okay. Okay. You tell me. Was that disturbing? No. It wasn't.
Mask sale.
This guy, I don't know what he's on. Come on, can we switch? Please?
Salesman. In the
Oh, hold on.
Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask and the Legend of Zelda
Oh, the Happy
Ocarina
Mask
of
Salesman?
Mask Salesman.
Okay.
That is, I'm not totally sure, but I'm gonna put him in the thumbnail so people click. Happy Mask Salesman. In The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask and The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, the character by the name of the Happy Mask Salesman has a very creepy look to him. He's got a bunch of kind of weird masks on his back.
He wasn't that creepy, he was
including
just
one of Mario. There are also some
odd.
creepypastas about the guy being evil, so I totally understand being scared by this guy. I think I first learned about him through the Peanut Butter Gamers G-Files episode on him, which is a YouTuber that I don't watch anymore, but if he brought back that series, I might check him out again.
It was Ben
Mario
Brown.
Games.
Bloody Mario.
When I think Bloody Mario games, I think Super Mario Flash. When I was a little kid, I didn't have any Mario games that I could play on console, so I spent a lot of time on those old Flash game websites, playing lots of different games. My favorite of the bunch being Mario Combat, which was awesome.
Mario Combat.
But Mario Flash had a disturbing twist. As mentioned earlier, I really didn't like bloody things, so whenever I accidentally found this game and started playing it, the bloody death of the Goombas in Mario always disturbed me, and I always called
Dude, they're there for like
to help me get rid of the game.
Are you serious? You called your mommy? God, bruh. You called your mom to help you get rid of the game? You didn't know how to click out? Come on now. How old were you?
Probably like 6 or 7 years old whenever this was happening.
You're old enough to click out of a tab. You definitely know how. There's no. I refuse to believe you were that incompetent with electronics.
So seeing stuff like this was pretty bad. I'm sure there's a lot of other bloody Mario games, but this is the one that stands out to me the most. Game Boy camera. The Game Boy camera was exactly what it sounded like. A tiny camera that could take pictures when inserted into a Game Boy. Hell, it even used to be the smallest camera in the Guinness Book of World Records. But nothing about that sounds creepy, right? Well, since this was a Nintendo thing, it wasn't just a camera. The Game Boy camera acted like a game, meaning that you could take pictures of people and then put them into little games. There was an RPG style section with a couple different options, one of them being run. If you decide to click run,
what are you running
face.
from? That one was creepy. That one shows up in Five Nights at Wario's.
The online creepy community, and that's where I first saw them.
What are you running from?
When I was a little kid, I thought these guys were really, really disturbing. And
that one isn't creepy. The other one was.
Up at night a few times. There's something about
who raised you?
Pictures and the way that they're drawn.
Who raised you? Were you sheltered? Oh my.
And I don't know. It's just weird. The Chuckle Hut.
The hell's the Chuckle Hut?
A video uploaded in 2011 of an animated woman shaking around with a stretched out mouth with creepy music playing in the background. To be completely honest, this
she's on a
has
Fent trip.
Pretty strong nightmare or fever dream vibe to it, and it's certainly very weird. I don't really know what the point of it is. There might be some hidden lore to it, but I certainly don't know what it is. Fun Video TV. Okay, so I feel like this entry is gonna bring back a lot of long forgotten memories.
I never watched these because I thought they were dumb.
2012, the song Gangnam Style was the biggest thing in the world. All ages loved it. I certainly loved it. All my friends loved it. And something that was also very popular was Angry Birds. Same goes for that. So Fun Video TV decided to make a video combining them, and yeah.
What the hell?
The video has tons of views, and the person made multiple other videos that were basically the same thing. There were also a lot of really weird, creepy videos featuring horror movie characters just dancing around and just doing overall weird things.
Who made
also,
this?
A lot of the character models just looked terrible, and I feel like I got freaked out by a few of these videos back in the day. I run my mouth about how terrible YouTube Kids content is nowadays, but was
that Hitler?
Really all I run my mouth about how terrible YouTube Kids content
oh my god!
is nowadays.
What the hell? Why is Hitler just there doing Gangnam Style? That makes no sense.
But was what we watched really all that much better? I mean, this shit's literally the same crap you find on YouTube Kids. It's some weird stuff.
I don't know. I've never seen a Hitler on YouTube. Okay, How to Basic was funny.
Self-explanatory if you've ever seen a How to Basic video, but if you haven't, then you're gonna see some weird stuff. How to Basic is pretty much a crazy bait and switch. You'll click on a video expecting, well, a tutorial video, only to get what it seems like you clicked on, at first. Soon after, shit hits the fan and the video gets crazy.
Oh my god.
Many eggs are thrown, things are destroyed, and full-on chaos proceeds. I remember finding this video through the reaction.
What's with the feet?
The video
come on, bruh. Ew.
Tame, so I didn't expect to see a big fish being desecrated, which I know scared me and a lot of other kids. It wasn't really scary, I guess. It was more just
nasty.
Disturbing and a disregard for this animal's carcass. The channel is still going strong to this day with some really high budget.
Wow,
coming out.
2 million.
McDonald's Funky Chicken. All right, just check this out.
Okay. Did you know there's a dance called the Funky Chicken?
What the fuck? This can't be real.
Bring your knees.
They're so ugly.
Do the Funky Chicken. Funky Chicken. Yeah.
This has to be like a Super Bowl ad.
They can't dance, but the only meat they contain is chicken breast. Some fun, some food, it's all inside this happy meal.
Super Bowl ad, right?
Yeah. What the hell? What were they thinking? Why? I do not know. I feel like many people saw this and then never saw it again and couldn't find it online and then just, I guess, shook it off as a dream. But no, this abomination is very, very real. The designs are just so disgusting.
Ugly.
And I guess if they wanted to make a commercial that stuck with people, they
I'm telling you, it's a Super Bowl commercial.
Godzilla NES. Godzilla NES.
The Creepypasta?
Very iconic Creepypasta that many people really, really love and some really hate. It's got a very controversial ending, which I won't spoil here since I suggest that you check out the story, but basically the story
Isn't it like the length of the Bible? NES Godzilla, I remember it being like long as shit, and it like dragged on for way too long. I never read it, but I know about like enough about it.
The NES game that seems normal at first, but then a bunch of weird things start.
Yeah, Red comes out.
The imagery itself is very creepy, and I remember watching the Mullet Mike sticky paddle video on it and being freaked out by it.
No, I watched Hoodlum's Hood's Revenge on it.
Halo Flood. So this is referring to the parasitical alien species.
Controversial opinion. I never liked Halo. It looked lame. Doom was always more my thing. I don't know, maybe because I got traumatized. Because I saw enough of Doom 3. It was dark. It was a dark game.
From the Halo games by the name of the Flood. The way in which they affect things and move and multiply is really disgusting, and it works so well in the game. I played my first Halo game at, I think, 14, and even then I was like, geez, this is intense. The Flood come in different forms for you to kill.
How old are you? How old are you? Because I want to know. Were you 14 in like 2010s? Or 14 in the early 2000s? Because if so, dude, I played Dead Space in 2010. I was in kindergarten. Mind you, I got it was scary shit. I kept restarting the game because I didn't know how I didn't know how to like differentiate new game and like continue. So, or save at all. But I played it, and then I didn't play, I think it was just M games for a while, because I guess my dad thought I couldn't handle it, which, fair enough. I got scared by Dead Space. It's Dead Space. It's meant to be scary. The Flood isn't scary.
Kill. Halo fans, don't get mad at me if I don't explain this in the best way, since I don't know much about Halo lore, I just like shooting things. In my opinion, the grossest of these are the small flood things. However, what I think disturb kids the most are these more zombie-like forms. You see, these flood creatures would attack both humans and aliens, slowly infecting them and turning them into these really grotesque versions of themselves. Honestly, I think the Flood are still creepy to this day.
No, Dead Space is worse. Dead Space is way worse.
Pig and the Bacon. Peppa Pig and the Bacon is a Spanish animation featuring Peppa Pig tasting bacon and becoming obsessed with it. She ends up eating her father and eventually turning the whole Peppa Pig family into bacon. The animation was pretty
bacon is pretty good.
Actual show, so many kids watched the video and were traumatized by it,
It's kind of funny.
including me.
You watched Peppa Pig, bro? What? Oh my! You were definitely sheltered. I'm gonna say it right now.
On the game show Whammy, you could spin a wheel and get a bad result. Said bad result was Tarzan, a creepy little devil man who would have to splat against the screen or hit an
There's a devil man? Are you
Mr.
serious?
Davy's MLP Animations. Mr. Davy was a YouTuber with an animation style that was basically indistinguishable from the actual My Little Pony show. His
I know what he's talking about.
such as Smile, HD,
Smile, yeah.
Derpy Gets Pranked, and Cupcakes were incredibly violent and disturbing. I do not suggest looking them up after this. I'm gonna say do not research.
Smile was funny.
SpongeBob and Patrick.
What the fuck?
SpongeBob is the alternate name for disturbing SpongeBob art. Patrick's is this creepy
Oh my
rendition
god,
of
I hate that.
realistic Patrick.
I hate it.
They're both creepy as hell and certainly terrified lots of kids. Violin Girl Jump Scare. This entry is referring to a scene in Courage the Cowardly Dog. This scene is straight up scary, with the uncanny stop motion animation and loud sound. Jeff Dunham's...
If you were scared by Courage the Cowardly Dog, you should not have been on the internet. You should have just stayed watching, I don't know, Bob the Builder.
Dunham is a
I don't know what you're doing on Cartoon Network.
puppets for his shows. His most famous character
Osama.
Ahmed, is a dead terrorist. And he was definitely very creepy to a lot of kids growing up. Morbid PSAs.
Wait. Creepy for kids growing up. Why were kids watching this guy? That's their fault.
Definitely very creepy to a lot of kids growing up.
That wasn't
Morbid
creepy.
PSAs. Like the chef boiling entry from earlier, morbid, scary PSAs were pretty prevalent in the 2000s. Many of these disturbed kids since for whatever reason they would air on child-friendly channels sometimes.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up.
Avengers. Zombie Avengers is an old YouTube animation featuring the Avengers as zombies.
That's such a
This
cool
video
idea.
has a comedic tone, but the imagery would be creepy if you saw it as a kid. Arnold's Nightmare.
Arnold's Nightmare.
This entry is most likely referring
Oh.
to the scene in Hey Arnold, where Arnold falls asleep and sees him
I never watched Hey
and his
Arnold.
friend Gerald as very old men on the bus. It then pans over to Arnold's grandpa, who looks terrifying as his jaw.
He looks like
continues
Herbert
to
the
fall
pervert.
off. Jason Voorhees unmasked. I mean, just look at this guy. That's
I don't remember him ever being a mess.
There are multiple different varieties, but this Toxic Avenger looking
Oh
one is probably the worst.
He looks like an
Arnold's
inbred.
head freezes in space. This is referring to that one episode of the Magic School Bus where they go to space. Arnold gets upset.
I never watched the Magic School Bus. I think they only put it on in like kindergarten. I think to like keep us to like get us to shut up. But I never watched it. I'll be honest.
And then
It was
this
not
happens.
entertaining. Bro did.
Settling Simpsons scenes/parodies.
Here we go.
This could be anything from Treehouse of Horror to that scene where Homer's face melts off. There are quite a few unsettling scenes in The Simpsons. Jimmy Neutron Happy
You're not gonna elaborate? It's just Simpsons unsettling. Everything has unsettling scenes. Come on. How was that traumatizing?
Family Happy Hour. Jimmy Neutron Happy Family
I know exactly
Happy
what this
Hour
is, yep.
a YouTube animation created by Seinfeld Spitstain. I would suggest watching it for yourself.
It's
This video
ugly.
is iconic. It's so quotable that me and my friends still quote it to this day.
No. You wanna know what's quotable? Shrek is love, Shrek is life. That script is so easy to remember. I don't know what the hell this is. This doesn't even look nearly as funny.
Creepiness adds so much to the video, and I highly recommend it. M is Bad. M is Bad is one of those classic Mario sprite animations. It takes a very twisted turn, and I will not describe the events of said video in this video.
Thanks, ass. Your job is literally to tell us what the iceberg is, yet you won't explain it. Is it that bad? I doubt it.
Tuma Onion Smash. This video is a parody of the classic Ivan Polka video. In this video, the woman's hand gets twisted as she spins the leak. It then reaches its peak and spins back, hitting her in the face. She's then beat up, and the song plays in slow motion. I don't know what it is about this video specifically, but it's just disturbing, even to this
It's not even that bad. Come on, bruh.
McDonald's Nose ad. This ad is just weird.
Is it just a Never Super Bowl
Starts off with a
ad?
man smiling. It starts to pan and pan and pan, while creepy music plays in the background. It then shows that his nose is connected to another man's nose when an alarm clock starts ringing and it tells you to buy McDonald's coffee.
What the fuck?
What the Freddy Krueger kills? This entry is pretty self-explanatory. Freddy
What
Krueger
were Gen Z kids watching Freddy Krueger
pretty
for?
gruesome kills. Frybo. This entry is referring to
I never
an
watched
episode
that.
of Steven Universe where a fast food mascot comes to life and becomes evil. Pretty creepy.
Yeah, you wanna know why? Because it gives you cholesterol. Diabetes. That's why it's evil.
Humpty Dumpty Kinder ad. I always loved this video as a kid.
You like this video, but yet the simplest things 30 minutes ago scared you? What even is your life, bro? How does this not freak you out? This looks
I'm just gonna put it
hideous.
here and let you make up your own mind.
Shock-a-doobie!
He's speaking Simish.
Pops wobble.
Pops?
Toy! Yodel yum and choco scrum with multi-pop wobble dies! Oh, grumbly! Me scrubble now. Snuggle. Whee!
Kinder Surprise from Ferrero.
He is dead.
Mario ROM. This is a classic
okay.
pasta about a
This
ROM
one,
someone
I know this
downloaded
one.
of Super Mario World.
The
game
image.
is simply titled Mario. Eventually, the OP finds this creepy
Yup.
picture.
I hate it.
The
Even
ROM
since
is
day.
actually real and not just a story. Jason Voorhees kills. This is referring to all the kills from the Friday the 13th horror movie series.
If you're going down this route, you could literally say any horror movie kills, then traumatizing. Easiest thing.
What else to say except for you probably shouldn't watch Friday the 13th as a kid.
You didn't say that for Freddy Krueger.
DeviantArt.
I'm mad now.
Whether you browse the website,
You know what you
watch
DeviantArt
Soul
is for.
Sands, look at cringe, you probably remember seeing some really weird, mostly furry / fetish related stuff
thought that was-
on DeviantArt.
Yeah,
You probably wish you didn't see
but
it.
I wasn't on DeviantArt. I just know about it.
In the show Marvelous Adventures of Flapjack,
I never watched the show either.
cat with this
What the
terrifying face. Yeah, that show was weird.
Okay, that would freak me out.
Syriac. Syriac is a YouTube channel who's been making these incredibly strange and disturbing YouTube videos for years. His videos definitely scared me and many others as a kid.
Why the hell were you watching
Not
this?
without my handbag. This is incredibly strange and
What the f-
stop motion made by Aardman Animations, the people who made Wallace and Gromit. In this animation, a dead aunt refuses to go to hell without her handbag. I know if I saw this as a kid, I wouldn't be terrified. Let Me Hear Your War Cry. Let Me Hear Your War Cry is an edited scene from the movie Full Metal Jacket.
Oh my
In this
god.
video, the soldiers' faces are replaced with these disturbing mannequin things.
Yeah, that'd be creepy. But I wouldn't watch.
Package screams.
The only time I'd see myself ever watching something like this is if it was like in a either creepypasta video or just unsettling videos video. I don't think I'd ever be able to find this on my own. Like, you have to really try.
I never watched this video as a kid, but I always saw the thumbnail. It freaked me out. The Scarecrow's hallucinations. The Scarecrow in the Dark Knight movie makes people hallucinate, and it's pretty creepy. Not much more than that.
That wasn't that
Call of
bad.
Duty. Call of Duty should not be played by kids, but
Too bad.
by a lot of kids, especially back in the 2000s. There was a lot of both violent and scary content in these games, so it's no wonder it's on the list. Puberty. This
Puberty.
entry is kind of a weird one, but I think you'll understand why it's here. Puberty is generally something that's really hard for a lot of kids to go through. When your body changes in ways that you don't expect out of nowhere, it's kind of disturbing and weird.
That's scary to
When
you?
my voice started to change when I was like 11 or 12. I hated it. I felt like my new voice was like bad or wrong somehow. And of course my experiences with the male side of things, but another weird one is when you start to quote unquote
What?
grow facial hair. Like you know, quote facial hair like
Oh
a
my
little
God.
tiny little fuzz stash and you cut it and then you bloody all your face up because you never shaved before and
No, that's because you're fatherless, bruh. If you manage to cut your face, like, on your own, that's just your fault. My dad taught me. And also, I got told the pre-puberty talk, preparing me for it. So when it happened, I was like, oh my god, what's happening? Even then, I probably wouldn't care, because it's, what am I going to do about it? I can't fix it. This guy was just probably sheltered by his...
Yeah.
He said I would cry for my mom to come to come close this tab of this creepy game.
if you've gone through this then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
We all gone through
Which
it,
leads
bro.
me to today's sponsor. This video is brought to you by manscaped.com.
I don't care. Where's the end of the sponsor? Marina Mortigard Glesgorb. I know exactly what that is. Yep.
Glesgore. This entry is referring to an old YouTube video, which is kind of an urban legend on the internet. Mariana Mordigard Glesgorb is a cursed YouTube video.
It's Marina
that was
Mortigard
deleted by
Glesgorb.
YouTube. If you look it up now, you can find it, but what you find is not the full thing. Allegedly, those who watched the original video
Tear their
pulled
guys
eyes
out.
and mailed them to YouTube headquarters.
Cut themselves. Pulled their eyes
Yeah, the
out.
story never really made any sense, especially the eye thing. Like, how the hell can you mail that to
Yeah.
YouTube if you don't have eyes?
All you need is some critical
I don't
thinking
know. It's dumb.
to know it's
But
bull.
the video itself is nothing special, and the alleged full version is on YouTube for you to watch.
It shouldn't even be middle of the ice. Okay. Yeah, I guess I could see why it's a niche, but it's not scary.
The video will not make you mail your eyeballs to YouTube. Fishmen. Alright, I feel like this one is going to bring back memories for tons of people who forgot about this video. Fishmen is a classic video uploaded on the channel Hackor, who also created the iconic Here Comes Pac-Man video.
The hell?
Fishmen is a parody of the song It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like
Oh!
Christmas and displays a future apocalyptic world filled with these humanoid fishmen. The special effects are pretty good, especially considering
That's
that
pretty
this
good.
video was
That's like
released
pretty
in
ass. It
2009.
just looks weird.
The video is undeniably charming and I love it, but it's pretty unnerving. The video is based off of the story Shadow over Innsmouth by H.P. Lovecraft, which on its own is pretty scary.
We already know what he named his
It
cat.
always gets me in the holiday spirit. If you haven't seen the video, then I highly suggest that you check it out.
No.
Feel Good Inc. music video. So, Gorillaz. It's
I love Gorillaz.
pretty much the coolest band out there. I'm a huge fan, and lots of you guys are too. If you don't know about Gorillaz, then you'll probably be confused as to why the real band members never show up. Well, that's because the band is just fictional animated characters. In 2005, they released a song by the name of Feel Good Inc., and it's a damn good song.
It's such a
They
good
developed
video
music
too.
Video to go along with it, which has some pretty dark themes.
Dark themes? Dark themes. Okay, what do we got here? We got a tower,
Which
presumably hookers.
has some pretty dark themes. When I first listened to Feel Good Inc., I didn't really like the song because the laugh kind of freaked me out, but nowadays,
That freaks you. Who raised you? A Mormon?
Feel Good Inc. is one of my favorite songs, and I even played it on stage live when I was 13.
I'm not.
I
The
wanna give an
secondhand
honorable mention
cringe.
shout out to the music video for the song Rocket. Yeah, I don't think I have to explain this one. Liquid Generation Tube. Liquid Generation Tube was an old website that just stinks of
Okay, was that Gorilla's entry? I'm sorry to be stuck on it. Was that Gorilla's entry just your own personal thing? You think other people were scared by that?
2000s, and not in a great way. They had a YouTube channel featuring videos from their website, which started off as tabloidy style videos, and then later moved to top 10 videos, and then they started doing these little flash animations where some were called sabotages. The idea is that you would send a video to a friend that looked innocent at first, but then it became something dirty. Then later, they started a video series by the name of Angry Leprechaun. I'm guessing this entry was submitted because of this series. It features an angry animated leprechaun cursing and threatening the viewer. Does anyone remember this?
No.
Treats for Beasts. Treats for Beasts is an iconic YouTube channel that has been in like 50 other ice cream.
When you gotta
Probably
celebrate our differences. That's what the Earth reminded me of. What the hell is
channel
this?
from the video Beasts. The videos on this channel are all social commentary, and they all have a pretty creepy vibe to them. There are a bunch
just
of
like
videos all
like
focusing on
low
football
budget salad
players, and
fingers.
They really appeal to that guy who loves nihilism and existential stuff. The creator of the channel clearly isn't too big of a fan of religion, and it shows. There's also a video called Who Wants to Gnaw on Human Bones, and yeah, I'm not really sure if this one has like a hidden meaning to it or something, but I don't know. Mimi Paper Mario.
The
This
fuck?
entry is referring to the third boss of the game, Super Paper Mario. This game in general has a weird vibe to it. It might be because the game heavily deviated from the Mario vibe or whatever, but either way, there's some weird stuff.
The hell?
Character Mimi, who had a cute normal appearance, turns into this without warning, and then you have to fight her. It really
Oh, that's
is a
pretty
nightmarish
cool.
Fight because it happens out of nowhere. Fun fact, I actually lost my first tooth while playing this game. Teddy Has an Operation. Teddy Has an Operation is a classic YouTube video that I'm sure most of you have seen.
No.
It features a teddy bear getting surgery. Thing is, the bear has some really realistic
Wow.
organs, and it's all narrated by a voice that sounds like it's straight out of a storybook. Inside this teddy, there are a bunch of weird things inside of him that get pulled out of his realistic organs. The video was unwatchable to me back when I was a little kid, but nowadays it's really not that bad. It's still pretty disgusting at times, but if you overlook that, then the video is actually kind of wholesome.
Reminds me of that one
I think it depends on the person.
what do you call it? That one SCP that like makes other teddy bears with human body parts or something.
But I suggest that you check it out. 1,000 Ways to Die. 1,000 Ways to Die
hell's-
is one that many people commented asking for it to be in
The hell's
size.
1,000 Ways to
1,000 Ways
Die?
to Die is basically a series that exists just to display people dying in a bunch of different ways. The series was
So like low budget Final Destination, is that basically it?
presented in a way that resembled a documentary, which made the cheesy videos seem real. Obviously, these videos were really scary and disturbing simply because of all the gore and violence. I guess it's kind of
IED phone bomb. Okay, that's a new one.
like Final Destination, the show.
Yeah.
Raving Rabbids' original design. You're probably familiar
I hated
with
them.
Rabbids, you know, the minions of gaming.
Yeah.
Pretty cute and friendly looking, but they weren't originally. In the cancelled game Rayman 4, the characters had a way more threatening look and were all
Oh.
antagonists. I could totally see a kid being scared by these characters
No.
watching the original trailer. Dumb Ways to Die.
I like
Dumb
them.
Ways to Die
Okay,
is a
I remember
classic
Dumb Ways to
subway
Die.
safety PSA that blew up on YouTube. The video features these cute little characters dying in a bunch of dumb ways, some more tame than others. Of course, there ended up being a bunch of parodies of this video, some being more graphic than the original. I remember there being a real-life version that featured what seemed to be like real-life videos of people dying in some cases, alongside stuff from movies.
That reminds me of, I swear to God, if those 3D animation safety videos from China don't make it on this list. Oh wait, that's not Gen Z though. Never mind. Those are God damn. China really needs to get their safety concerns in order, but they're not because they're a bunch of commies. But God, the way people have died in China is just awful.
Games. Dumb Ways to Die also had 2 mobile games that were basically little mini-game fests, and they were tons of fun. If you haven't seen Dumb Ways to Die, then I highly suggest that you check it out. It really is an iconic part of internet history. If anyone else remembers the real-life Dumb Ways to Die video, please let me know, because I can't find it anywhere on YouTube, and I'm sure it was on YouTube. But I guess it just might end up being some sort of lost media at this point.
Yeah.
Mad Zombie.
The hell is Mad
This entry is
Zombie?
referring to a parody of the movie Bambi from the old Cartoon Network show Mad, which has another segment from it later on in this list. Zombie depicts Bambi's mom, who was killed in the movie, back from the grave. Eventually, the hunter who shot her appears, and they get locked into the same room, and the zombie deer presumably kills the man.
L, bro.
Need I say more? This Mad show was basically a robot chicken for kids. And I say that with quotation marks because this definitely had a lot of scary and disturbing moments that actually seemed like things that you'd find on Robot Chicken. The Centrifuge
It's Robot
Brain
Chicken.
Project. Alright, I feel like this one's gonna hit really hard for some of you guys. The Centrifuge Brain Project is a short film on YouTube showing what's essentially a mad scientist talking about all the crazy theme park rides he's designed. The rides that this
The
guy designed
Centrifuge?
are strangely terrifying in a really unique way. I think the most memorable one is this ball swing ride that has the riders upside down and
Oh, I gotta respond to. I got asked what I want to eat, so I'm not going to do that. Okay.
yeah, it's uncomfortable to look at. The look of these things is just so wrong and unsafe feeling. I'll admit, when I first saw this, I thought these rides might have actually been real. And if you
Bro's
look in the
dumb.
comments, you'll see many people who also thought that. There was also a channel who actually took clips of the rides from the original video and uploaded them individually as their own little short videos, which made them feel much more real since in the descriptions they never stated that this was a fake thing, it was just like footage of this crazy ride. For me, these fake rides are still strangely disturbing to this day, and I don't know, it's just unnerving.
How?
It's
It's not even
similar
that
to
bad.
liminal space, which if you want to learn more about, I highly suggest you check out my video with Shuki on the topic. It's really good and really underrated. Little Shop of Horrors. Little Shop of Horrors is a musical about a giant killer alien plant that comes to Earth and suckers a guy into feeding it blood. Little Shop of Horrors is a parody of your average B movie because it originally was exactly that with a super cheesy plot and special effects. Later, in 1986, a movie featuring Rick Moranis was released and it's amazing.
Isn't it just me or that guy looks like the guy from Ghostbusters? The nerdy simp guy? Maybe.
This is the version of Little Shop of Horrors that most people know, and it's by far the best. It's an adaptation of the Broadway musical, and the special effects are out of this world.
That looks pretty cool.
Which actually scared a lot of younger kids who saw it. In the movie, people get eaten alive, die from too much laughing gas, get chopped up.
Laughing
At the end of
gas?
it all, in the director's cut, the plants take over the world, and the main characters get killed.
Okay, so like Resident
If you
Evil?
haven't seen it, then I highly suggest you do. I'm not too big of a musical fan, but I love Little Shop of Horrors. Mullet Mike. This entry is referring to an old YouTube channel run by a guy named Mike.
The hell?
Who
Silent Hill 2?
covered
Silent Hill 2?
content related to video games. He had a series by the name of Creepy Gaming, which focused on, well, creepy gaming. The series covered a lot of things that were already in this iceberg, and I personally loved them as a kid. They freaked me out, but Mike was always a great host and made things easier to watch. I'm not exactly sure why, but Mike recently re-uploaded all his classic videos, so if you want to go revisit your childhood, I recommend checking them out. Theme Park Gone Wrong videos. This entry is referring to a bunch of old YouTube videos displaying roller coasters and other theme park rides malfunctioning, showing people actually falling out of the ride.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I had a bit of a morbid fascination with these videos, since I was a big fan of theme parks.
Blood was scared of My Little Pony nails animation. but wasn't scared of watching people get murdered or like die from like theme parks. Are you serious? You got your priorities wrong, dude.
They were scary in a way that not many other things were. I'm wondering how many other people experienced this, since the only other time I've heard anyone talking about this was in the comment recommending this. So, if you guys were scared by these back in the day, let me know. These clickbait videos are still being made to this day, so it could be in a Gen Alpha Iceberg in the future. Revenge of the Mushroom Kingdom. Back in the day, Mario's sprite animations were all the rage. People loved them. Often
Oh damn, he died.
teens and young adults. These videos sometimes had a dark twist, and this was one of them. In this video series, Mario dies and the Mushroom Kingdom basically falls apart. A bunch of violent stuff happens, there's blood.
Oh my.
Yeah.
War crimes.
Bowling alley animations. Alright, so this is one
Oh, these are funny though.
Probably lots of you guys. Around the 90s and early 2000s, many bowling alleys implemented these cute little animations corresponding to things that would happen.
Wait, were they
in a
real?
match. For example, if you were to get a strike, it would show that on an animation on screen. Same thing with a spare, gutter ball, whatever. Sometimes these animations were kind of violent, showing living pins get killed essentially. Sometimes the humans were... yeah.
No, the one I saw was the whatchamacallit, the bowling ball getting surrounded by pins, and that was not, I know that one's not real, but it was funny. And another one where it's like, a bowling ball being an airstrike in Iraq, and hitting bowling pins with a drone. That one was funny.
They haven't really aged too well. Honestly, I really love these animations, but I do see how some younger kids could be freaked out by them.
No.
Liquid Slam. Alright, so Liquid Slam is a fictional pouch drink from the video Every 90s Commercial Ever, from the channel Rocket Jump. The video parodies cheesy 90s commercials for Capri Sun drinks, but it takes a really dark turn when the kids turn into this terrifying creature and start killing people.
Oh god.
The video is awesome and totally captures the feel of a 90s commercial, you know, minus the killer mutant kids, but the video is genuinely pretty scary. And I remember it terrifying me when I was younger. I was fascinated
Why were you watching
with
this?
commercials from the 80s and 90s, and
Why?
so this video would be a compilation of a bunch of 90s commercials. But
The
then I saw
Flammenpapa.
this scary video and I didn't like it. Later on I rewatched it and loved it, and it's a really good video.
The hell?
It's scary. Garfield's Nightmare Ride. So this one's referring to a dark ride at the Kennywood theme park. The ride was formerly an old mill ride that was built in 1901 that was then replaced by this Garfield ride. The ride was incredibly weird and hated by most people. The ride featured creepy music and eerie effects, and it really looks like a fever dream. The water was murky,
it's
the
just
effects didn't work well, and overall it was just a bizarre thing. In 2020,
liminal
the park
space.
got new ownership, and the ride was removed and returned to the original old mill, and everything relating to Garfield in the park was also removed. Katie Putty. This is another one from Mad. Remember that kids robot chicken thing? This one is a parody of the song Firework and features the titular character Katie Putty singing the song to some other puppets.
Yeah, I never
It
watched
takes a very
that.
literal turn when the puppets start catching fire and burning from the flames. There are some pretty disturbing shots of the characters who've been burned alive, and I know that if I saw this shit as a kid, it would have made me cry.
I didn't watch it
This
because it
show
was
really
ugly.
was not for kids. Mr. Meaty.
The hell is
was
Mr.
a
Meaty?
very strange puppet show,
Oh!
which had a really strange and somewhat
What the
creepy
hell
art
is
style
that?
Obviously freaked out a lot of kids, but it was the content of
Yeah,
the
I
show
never
that was
watched
really
it.
memorable.
I don't.
No, the lyrics of the show's theme song say,
Was it just like some areas in the U.S. that got this? Because I never got commercials. To be fair, I didn't watch cable. I watched DVDs of like SpongeBob and stuff. Either DVDs, VHSs, or played games. That's about it for my childhood. I think for like TV shows, I literally only watched maybe it was Disney Channel. Yeah, that's about it. I did not watch any of whatever the hell this is.
quote, all of God's creatures fresh off the grill, which already
The
sets
hell?
up the grisly theme of the show. And Mr. Meaty centers around these two teenage boys who work at a greasy, sketchy fast food joint. The meat in the show is genuinely disgusting, which is probably the leading cause for vegetarianism at the time. One of the show's more infamous segments shows the main character being approached by a goth girl. Being a man of culture, the guy decides to show her around the kitchen until she slips on some greasy lard on the floor and lands her hand straight into the deep fryer. She just keeps it there while moaning in pain.
What?
The
Moaning in
other guy
pain?
tries to
What?
think of something up, and eventually this little guy
Just take your hand
decides to
out.
play it off as if it's something that happens all the time. So he dunks his hand into the deep fryer and then proceeds to eat his burnt hand. The girl is super into this, weirdly, and
She's a goth girl
as well.
Oh no!
And then
What
they
the?
high-five. Yeah, how the hell was this on Nickelodeon?
What the fuck?
I mean, this is just straight up disturbing. Even just researching the show for this video was kind of freaking me out. Like, there's something that just feels, I don't know, it's disturbing. When this show was airing,
The
I was
shock
a really
value.
little kid, so obviously I didn't watch it. But I remember seeing bumpers for it, and I have a very vivid
Okay,
memory.
when
of
did
my cousin
Mr.
playing
Okay,
it.
when he said he was a little kid, when did Mr. Meaty come out? I'm checking my phone. When did Mr. Meaty come out? 2005. I was born. Okay, I was born 2004. He looked like he was already 4. Come on, dude. Come on.
Mr. Meaty flash game on the Nickelodeon website on my family's old Mac Mini. My mom used to work at Nickelodeon. I remember one time she took me there to show me around and catch up with her old friends and stuff. At Nick, they had some really, big cardboard cutouts of the characters, which as a 2-year-old really freaked me out, while also intriguing me in a weird way. Mr. Meaty was made in a time where Nickelodeon was trying to appeal to older kids and teens, so I'm assuming their intention with Mr. Meaty was for teens to tune in for the shock value
They're
and the
ugly.
disturbing things in the show. But it didn't really work the way they wanted. The show didn't do too well, especially because it had some really bad and out-of-place airtime that didn't really fit the audience they were going for. Abandoned by Disney.
Yeah, let's
Disney
go.
is probably
Let's
one of the
go.
most
Photo
famous
negative
creepypastas ever.
Mickey.
The story is about a man who travels to a Disney resort which has been abandoned for years.
Mowgli's Palace. Yeah, I remember this.
He explores the place and finds a bunch of creepy things, and the story has a really great way of explaining the things and making them really unnerving. Eventually, and most infamously, he stumbles across a room labeled mascots. He opens it and finds a photo-negative Mickey Mouse costume that stands up and asks him if he'd like to see his head.
Head come off.
This Mickey costume then rips his head off and it bleeds yellow blood, and the explorer flees.
5 Nights at
He
Treasure
rips
Island.
his own head off, not the explorer's head. The story had some dark and creepy sequels.
That was cool.
The original was the one known.
I would buy that.
What was most terrifying for me was the name. Yeah,
Abandoned by Disney?
just the name. When I was like 8,
What?
I saw the thumbnail for the video alongside the name, and then my imagination ran wild. I basically created a story in my mind that was scary.
That's the image I know
Story.
about.
Overall, I'm glad that people recommended this. It sure was scary. There was also a popular
Yeah, there we go.
fan game based
Five
on
Nights at
this,
Treasure Island.
I never played it, but it was pretty popular.
No, it was funny because if you didn't do anything, if you didn't touch it, it would jump scare you.
Polybius.
Polybius?
Alright.
You were scared of
This one's
Polybius?
personal to me. Polybius is an urban legend about a mysterious arcade game that popped up in Portland, Oregon in the early 1980s. The
Supposedly.
game was incredibly addictive to those who played it, and it would often have people forming lines just to play the game. Allegedly, some people who played it that would hear noises and see faces in their peripheral vision. Arcade owners who hosted the game claim to have seen men in black suits coming into the arcade
It's
after
a CIA.
hours and taking some sort of data from the machines. Eventually, a boy got a seizure from the game and it disappeared from arcades. The game is theorized to have been a government test, like MK.
A government
to see
yeah,
the
so
effect
CIA.
of video games on the brain. You're probably wondering, is any of this real?
No.
Well, unfortunately, I can't really give you a definitive answer to that.
What do you mean? Unfortunately, it's not. it's just not. You could easily do like fact checking on like what, the patents or anything. Okay, let's just say, even if that's not true, if somebody would have had a picture of it. I don't care how hard the CIA tries to like scrub it. Somebody would have had proof of it. They had proof of MK Ultra. Come on now. Something this public would have had proof.
But back in
It's
the
not
day
real.
when I was a kid, I really, really wanted this to be real.
Why?
There were some bits of evidence that were actually pretty convincing. There are a bunch of pictures online showing allegedly real arcade cabinets, which are all most likely fan-made, since
Yeah,
the
you
designs
don't-
aren't consistent with each other. But what really gave me hope was a local arcade that claimed to have a Polybius cabinet. Here in New York, we've got a place called Barcade, which is a bar with a bunch of classic 80s and 90s games. On their Instagram, they claim to have found a Polybius cabinet in an old Oregon storage room. This same Polybius cabinet
Don't play
showed in
it.
their arcade. Being
Oh, hey,
only,
cool
like,
guy.
9 at the time, I obviously would not be let inside the place since, well, it's a bar. But luckily, someone
So-
actually did a walkthrough of the bar and showed the cabinet for a second.
game down there called Polybus. I have no idea what the hell that is.
In this video, a high
I
score
know
board
this.
is shown, and for
Yeah.
Polybius, the high score is just a bunch of 6s. The person who got it is also unknown. This
It's
genuinely made me
a troll. Come on now. You can't say I can't definitively confirm if this is true or not. It's obviously not.
think the game was real, so I actually called the bar and had a conversation with the guy on the phone.
It's
He claimed
a
that they never had it and that the game was an urban legend, so I explained to him that they used to have a cabinet, etc. He told me that the game was probably just a fan-made ROM put into an arcade cabinet and then displayed for Halloween. Later, I found this post that they made claiming that they had to get rid of the Polybius game because it was too dangerous. Overall,
It's a marketing
this is one
ploy.
of the greatest urban legends out there. I love it. If you've got any information that isn't generally well known about
didn't 3 people die from that? Apparently, but it's not real. So this guy, I have no clue. I think this guy's just like
comments. Little Miss Rarity.
he has to be trolling.
This entry is referring to an old My Little Pony fan
What
animation
the
showing the pony Rarity's horn being removed. In this, the horn contains her memories, and they are seen by the pony who dissected it. She finds out that Rarity once got scratched by her cat.
Why is there
and
so many My
realizes
Little
that she
Pony?
enjoyed it. So she starts to inflict pain on
Oh.
herself and others, all just for fun. Eventually, she accidentally kills the cat and tries to bring it back in the form of a creepy-ass
Necromancer.
doll. More messed up stuff happens, and then eventually Rarity brands herself.
What?
and then turns into a Resident Evil boss.
Wait, what?
This video was watched by way too many kids, which is apparent through the
What
comments.
kids are watching this?
And it totally makes sense that people were recommending it for this video. There are some sequels to it, there's probably some message that I'm missing, but honestly, I don't want to watch any more of these. 9 movie. This entry is referring to a
That movie was so cool though.
September 2009 by the name of 9. You see what they were doing there? The film takes place in a post-apocalyptic world, completely desolate of humans, which on its own is
Mortar.
pretty creepy, especially considering the fact that the main character finds the corpses of humans. The film may look
That
like
movie-
an
yeah,
action
was-
adventure movie, but no. Not
I
at
think
all.
he's talking
This
about
movie is
that
really
thing.
violent and
That
really
I hate it.
and actually really mature in its themes. If you haven't
I don't think
seen
it was a
the
kids
film,
movie.
I
It's
would highly suggest you
it isn't it like rated PG-13? That is not a kids movie.
since it's pretty good. I remember seeing the trailers of this movie back in 2009, and it intrigued me, but I knew it
I gotta
definitely
rewatch
wasn't
it.
appropriate for me. I had a feeling that lots of kids watched this movie thinking that it would be your average PG movie, only to get a really dark post-apocalyptic movie. Coraline. This
Okay,
is referring to a
Coraline, that unsettling. I never liked the I guess good. Yeah, I never liked
released in 2009 that was based off
the
of a
mother,
book.
the other mother. I never liked that thumbnail
Animation
either,
alone is
or that
unnerving since
cover.
It had a really gloomy art style, but what really gets disturbing is the creatures that the main character encounters. There are these
Yeah, I don't like the other
reality
mother.
versions of her parents with button eyes that try to get her to remove her eyes and replace them with buttons. Obviously, they're evil and turn into scary-looking monsters. There are many more creepy
The book
things in this
is so
movie, which I
dark.
won't
Is it? I've
spoil
never
because
read
I think
it.
a lot of the people watching this video would probably like the movie, and if they haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it for them.
How have you never seen Coraline at this point? I like the music though. The score was great.
This is a kind of similar thing to 9. Lots of kids watched it expecting it not to be nightmare fuel.
Yeah, the difference is 9 was
I remember being
PG-13. This
pretty
was
freaked out by it
PG.
when I first saw it, and I can totally relate to this one. River, Twigs, Bed. This entry is referring to an area of the game Super Paper Mario. You're swimming through a river, and once you get to the bottom, these hands start to attack you, and this song starts playing. Yeah, that's a song from every single Iceberg YouTube video ever made.
Wait, really?
These hand things
No
are
way.
obviously really unnerving, but then again, the whole game was, as I said earlier.
It's not unnerving,
What makes
bro.
it even creepier is that you can hear a distorted, low-pitched voice saying, "Save us." I'm just gonna leave
I don't think that's real.
the Max Headroom incident. On November 22nd, 1987, Chicago television station got hijacked by
I remember this.
Max Headroom.
Yeah.
Max Headroom being an old TV character, who
Warning,
was
heads
essentially
up.
the first computer
Wait, what?
generated-
We've detected your stream belonging to someone else. Your stream. Wait, what? I got a copyright strike with live. How? Belonging to someone. Your stream made. If you plan to continue, please ensure the content owner. Added your channel to. It's just a reaction video.
TV host.
And plus,
This is the
I'm making it more transformative than majority of reactors. So, that's fine. It's
Yeah, so
whatever.
of course it was just a guy in makeup, but still, it was pretty cool. In the hijack, the background actually moves like it would in the actual Max Headroom show.
Oh wait, hold on. The thing broke again.
Person dressed up as Max talks to the camera.
Hold on, can you still
and
see
makes
it?
some pop culture references, and it cuts to him being spanked with a
What?
fly swatter.
Hold on. Why is my window thing messed up? Hold on. There we go.
The culprits were never caught, but there are some suspicions
Okay, there we
that
go.
the person who played Max was the creator of Say Shane John.
Oh, I don't like
the
this.
original
I hate Say St. John.
Great video on the subject. You might be wondering, how is this Gen Z? This is from the 80s.
Yeah.
Well, back in the day, this broadcast was spread all over the Creepypasta fandom, so it reached a lot of kids and scared them. I remember being pretty freaked out by this, and I'm sure many of you guys can relate.
No.
Indie melting scene. This entry is referring
I
to
like this one. No, yeah, I literally talked about this earlier.
Lost Ark, where the Nazi guy opens the Ark of the Covenant, and him and all the troops around him are killed by the spirits inside. The main soldiers get a hole blown through them, but what is most disturbing is when these guys' faces melt off.
Yeah, exactly. Who gets scared by this?
Reese's baby.
That's what I've been saying the entire stream. I've been making
Alright, so back in the
I've been
day-
making fun of this guy because I was gonna be like calm at first. Then it started getting ridiculous. He's like, I got scared by close-ups from SpongeBob.
There was an incredibly bizarre commercial of a woman giving birth to a giant Reese's Pieces candy with
What
a
the
face.
fuck?
When they cut the umbilical cord to this thing, it just spills out a bunch of candies, and the thing has a weird-ass crying baby face.
What the hell?
The joke of the commercial is that the father was expecting it to be a Skittles candy, but it's actually peanut butter. So the real father comes in and is all sketchy and stuff. His wife cheated on him with the peanut butter. I don't know. It's really weird, and I've got no idea.
Honestly,
why.
I was kind of expecting
I do
something
remember
else.
seeing it as a kid, and it solidly disturbed me. I don't know exactly what it is specifically, but this thing is just wrong. SpongeBob Saw. This entry is referring to a
SpongeBob
video
Saw.
series on YouTube parodying the Saw movie franchise, but with SpongeBob and Patrick. The videos were super low quality and done in Microsoft Paint, and the videos are just so old YouTube. It's great, but obviously this series is really disturbing to a lot of kids since it featured
Who?
SpongeBob and Patrick in Saw. What's awesome is that the creator of these videos is actually still making these videos to this day. He's got a remake of the original Saw series, but with far better illustrations, but still in Microsoft Paint. He's also got a Resident Evil SpongeBob parody. And
Is that
even
Dragon
SpongeBob
Bob
in
Z?
Among Us. The channel is called Panchito Matrix, so if you want to relive some scary old memories, go check it out.
Scary old memories.
Can your pet.
I remember
Can Your Pet was
this.
an old Flash game.
This was a
where
troll
you get
game.
Cute little chick and play with it. You get to dress it, wash it, feed it, play with
Lavender
it.
Town theme,
You unlock all
okay.
these things as you go. Eventually, you unlock what looks like a bicycle. Once you select it, the floor caves in and the bicycle turns upside down and shreds the little chick into meat. The meat falls as the credits play.
Goofy off
Eventually,
getting- yeah,
you open
exactly.
a can with the name of your pet on it.
I was gonna
and the
say-
title screen shows.
Do you remember that? What was it, like duck game? You basically like train your duck. It was on Cool Math, I think. But you train. It looks.
Your
That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, it's soul crushing. I know. I first learned about this from the Kids React video on it, and I had no idea what I was getting
Duck Hunt?
into.
No. There's this game where you have like a pet duck, and you can like train it to like race or do mini games. It was like an old Flash game.
This was really disturbing, especially being a meat eater at the time. The game heavily
meat eater at the
resembles
time. Are you
Flash
not a
games,
meat
which
eater?
Actually, make an appearance on here later. Hell Valley Sky Trees.
Duck Life.
The
Yeah.
game-
Oh, Duck Life. That's what it reminds me of.
In Super Mario Galaxy 2, there was a level called Shiverburn Galaxy.
Come on, bro.
This level was a mix of lava and ice.
I love
It seemingly took
this
place
level.
in a giant crater or volcano of sorts. Nothing inherently spooky, but if you look up using the first-person mode, you will see these figures.
Whoa, so
They follow
scary.
you through the entire level and are always just watching.
How are you scared by
People
that?
dug through the files and found that these characters were named the Hell Valley Sky Tree. If you think about it, these characters
Exactly.
are massive. If they are this big from
Mind
that
you,
far,
we're an hour into it. I've yet to see something genuinely scary. Like where? Okay, so we have to get into like this part. Thank you.
far away, then these creatures are huge. Oddly enough, these aren't the only creepy creatures in Super Mario. In Super Mario 3D Land, at the end of
Mind
one
you,
Ghost
this
Town
guy
level,
says this is Gen Z childhood trauma. Gen Z apparently is scared of this.
this creepy figure shows up. if you wait long enough. In Super Paper Mario, River Twig's bed, and in Mimi, alongside this creepy lighting glitch.
This guy's just scared of Mario games.
When I was a kid, I was kind of fascinated with the Hell Valley Skytree, and I really wanted to know more about them. Mullet Mike, who was mentioned earlier, had a great video series talking about them, which further fueled my interest in them.
What?
I'm gonna look for an old drawing that I made when I was like 8 or 9 with the Hell Valley Skytree in them. It's pretty cool, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to find it. Update, here it is. Hypno's Lullaby.
What the fuck?
Hypno was a Pokemon who had a really strange aura to him.
Yeah, he's a weirdo.
It hypnotized people, and its Pokedex entry reads, "It carries a pendulum-like device. There was once an incident where it took a child away that it hypnotized."
Alright, Diddy.
Inspired a Creepypasta and this song.
Come, little children, come with me. Safe and happy you will be, away from home.
It's creepy until you realize Pokemon can't talk unless you're Meowth. So unless it's a Meowth in disguise.
Let us run.
Drake, yeah. No, it's Diddy, bruh.
The song was so incredibly disturbing to me and tons of other kids. And I remember not being able to finish listening to the song because of how much it freaked me out. And I really never wanted
that freaked him out. That freaked him out, cool guy.
To encounter the Pokemon in game.
Say St. John.
Okay, here we go.
St. John is a YouTube channel
I don't like this one.
that is, well, weird. At the time, I and many others found these videos very creepy and uncanny.
Is it a mannequin?
Nowadays,
or like
they
people
are
wearing a
supposedly
skin?
Funny. They're still very.
They're funny to you?
creepy, but somehow have a weird kind of shit post.
I don't like how they look.
The story behind the person who made the channel is pretty interesting, and unfortunately, they passed away. Scare Theater has a good video.
Didn't they get hit by a
which
train
you
or
should
something?
Watch if you are interested to learn more. James Cody's Splatter. This is a weird, low-budget parody of the Looney Tunes, where all the characters are being killed and there is blood. Nowadays, it's kind of funny how low-budget it looks. I can imagine this scaring the hell out of kids.
Violence scares you? Oh no, that reminds me. Early in the video, he said, "Oh, I didn't like Madness Combat." I wonder if I can find it. If I can find it, he was scared of a Flash animation with blood, stickman fighting. He got scared of that.
Michael Jackson ghost footage.
Ghost footage.
I assume this is referring to this Syriac video. It's pretty funny, because I can see you were scared by it as a kid.
Oh my god.
Nightmare. Woody's Nightmare could be referring to two things. Either the classic "I don't want to play with you anymore" dream, or a deleted scene from Toy Story named Woody's Nightmare.
Woody's Nightmare?
Which was only storyboarded and never animated, but it was on some special feature DVDs. The deleted scene was totally creepy and freaked me out as a kid. Final Destination Deaths. Final Destination...
Why is it on childhood trauma? Why are kids watching Final Destination?
It's all about killing off characters in crazy ways. Many kids saw scenes from these movies and became terrified of roller coasters, flying, elevators, etc.
I mean,
King
I
Boo.
get King Boo.
King Boo is from the Super Mario Brothers games, and he is the main bad guy in Luigi's
King Boo, huh?
His design isn't outright scary, but he does have a menacing aura about him. I can see how King Boo could have scared kids back in the day.
Who did it scare?
Brutal metal scream. This video is a clip from the music video of the song Dig by the band Mudvayne. Instead of screaming like you would expect the clown-faced man to, instead the audio is replaced by a low-effort, quiet, noise. The punchline itself isn't scary, but the music
Kids will get
itself
scared
is
of
really
anything.
comfortable.
Yeah, apparently to this
I
guy.
know that it creeps me out as a kid. Eerie Nickelodeon ads. I think this is referring to those weird and creepy Nickelodeon bumpers. It might also be referring to weird commercials that aired on Nickelodeon. I'm not completely sure. Sims 2, I ate my baby for dinner.
Wait, what?
Oh god, I remember this video. The title implies what the video was about.
I ate my...
In The Sims 2, you could eat your baby.
You could eat your baby in The
Yeah.
Sims 2?
Someone made a video with text portraying a story about this woman.
Is that a mod?
Weird
I don't feel
stuff,
like that would be real. Why would you do that?
Ghost Girl. Just check this out.
What's that? Up there! I told you, didn't I? I told you I seen something!
What thing would...
See? No, I bet I'm telling you now. Up there, see? What'd I say? Oh my god, what'd I say?
Those are British people? I thought that was like German.
No!
still pretty creepy to this day.
A
Lavender
Welsh.
Town. The Lavender Town syndrome
Not
is
so
a classic
stage, yeah.
urban legend about the original
If you got scared by Lavender Town, why were you on the internet, dude? Lavender Town is not scary.
Pokemon Red and Blue games. The story goes that the Pokemon Cemetery area, Lavender Town, had a soundtrack that used high-frequency beats, which messed with the minds of many young Japanese kids.
It sure did.
Leading to intense headaches and suicidal thoughts. This story is one of the biggest online urban legends out there, and with many people believing in it.
I hear people kill themselves over this song. Yeah, they stuck their heads inside a turned on oven and like cut their throats out. How that make sense? I have no clue.
With this legend, trying to figure out whether or not it was true.
It wasn't.
Being a kid, I thought that since I was in the age range of the kids in the story, that I could decipher the mystery of the song.
Oh, wow.
Obviously, it sounds the same to me as it did in 2013. Still a legendary story that 100% deserves a spot on the iceberg. Rainbow Factory.
The hell's a
classic My Little Pony creepypasta and music video about the in-show Rainbow Factory using the blood of ponies to create rainbows.
What?
This was huge in the Brony community among the
Oh yeah, this guy's a Brony. He put a picture of him at like a Brony convention when he was like younger.
And adults, but the kids weren't as thrilled about it. Rasputin's death. I'm pretty sure this is referring to the animated film Anastasia.
With this.
The antagonist
Rasputin
is a very brutal death.
Rasputin.
Which would totally scare any kid unfortunate enough to see it.
No, it's not even that bad.
Tree Trunk's death. This is referring to a scene from Adventure Time, where a little elephant creature takes a bite of a glass fruit and proceeds to explode.
Is that real? That doesn't look real.
Uploads of this scene talk about how it made them cry as kids.
It made them cry. Yeah.
Finn's Guardian Angel.
I watched
Finn's Guardian Angel is this.
You watched it? I already said earlier why I didn't watch Adventure Time. It's because I saw Lemonhead eat his sister over a doll. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna stick to Gumball.
Ass character from Adventure Time. At first, it's nice and comforting, but then morphs into a crazy-looking zombie face.
Yeah, the false angel.
To try and cook Finn. Pretty creepy.
What the?
GTA San Andreas Bigfoot plus UFO.
No way! You were scared of this.
This is a classic and iconic YouTube video showing footage of Bigfoot in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. After some footage of Bigfoot is shown, later it shows a giant glowing orb in the sky. This video is super nostalgic to lots of people, and it's a legendary video on the internet.
Oh, okay, he didn't say it was scary.
OMG, amazing dancer. This entry is referring to a classic Screamer video showing footage of a little girl dancing while calm piano music plays. Eventually, the scary figure appears, screaming very loud.
Oh my god.
It's pretty scary.
Cute Things Exploding. Cute Things Exploding was a YouTube channel who would make videos of cute things exploding in gory ways. I know that if I saw this as a kid, it would have really bothered me.
If you saw this, if you read the title and still clicked on it, that's your fault.
Makes sense it's on the iceberg. Billy Reverses History. I can't find something on this. It might be referring to the grim adventures of Billy and Mandy, but I'm not sure. Close to the bottom of the iceberg. Zim and Dib become baloney.
The hell is Zim and
To
Dib?
an episode of Invader Zim where
Billy,
Zim
yeah.
and Dib become baloney meat. That's about it.
Why?
Bill Cipher.
You were
Cipher
scared
was
of
the
Bill
main villain of the
Cipher?
Cartoon show Gravity Falls. Gravity Falls itself was pretty dark in terms of stuff airing on Disney XD, but Bill Cipher himself was definitely one of the creepiest things. He would constantly transform into scary forms and faces. He's now one of the most iconic cartoon villains of all time. Burger and Fries the Cat. This is a video of a cat in a cage screaming at the person recording. The cat's scream is strangely
pissed
human,
off
and
scat.
eventually the cat strikes at the person. Magician decapitates wife. This entry is referring to an old shock video portraying a magician accidentally cutting the head of his wife off. The general consensus about the video is that it's fake, but it's really realistic. Seeing this video as a kid would be terrible. The exploding tiger trick.
Exploding
this is a
tiger?
PSA about keeping tigers alive in India. They really get the message across by putting a tiger in a box and proceeding to stab swords into the box. The box then opens up, full of blood, and the message, "Tell the Indian government you don't want the tiger to disappear." Rake sightings. The rake.
Oh, the rake.
Classic
I remember the
creepypasta
rake.
creature.
No, there was Invader Zim EP where, yeah, no, he did that earlier. I don't. Why is he taking people's lungs? Is it black market?
This entry is most likely referring to these pictures on screen now.
Who was
This
scared of the
creature
rake?
would hide in the woods and kill people it came into contact with. Back in the day, this story was huge and scared me and many other
Oh
kids.
my god.
Cupcakes.
Cupcakes.
Cupcakes was a My Little Pony creepypasta about how Pinkie Pie makes her iconic cupcakes by killing ponies. Earlier
Okay.
in the Iceberg, I mentioned Mr. Davies' MLP animations.
Yeah.
This was one of them. Like his
Oh.
other animations, this is brutal and disturbing. When I was a kid, the story itself terrified me and kept me up at night. And I imagine it did the same to many, many others. Gory Super Mario Logan videos.
I love Super Mario Logan!
2 episodes of Super Mario Logan that had a dark twist. But I'm not gonna watch Super Mario Logan to find clip because I'm not a small annoying child.
What did you say? Hold on.
Super Mario Logan that had a dark twist. But I'm not gonna watch Super Mario Logan to find clip because I'm not a small annoying child.
Why are you throwing shade at Super Mario Logan? He makes great videos. He doesn't just make videos for small annoying children. Oh my god, dude. I already know what he's talking about when he says gory super.
I'm assuming there's gory.
He's probably talking about the whatchamacallit, the room, or the secret room. This is basically an episode where they were supposed. It takes place in their house. They weren't supposed to. Whatchamacallit. They weren't supposed to open a door, and there's like dead puppet bodies in there. That was gory. I mean, there's been other gory videos where they like accidentally cut one of the characters' heads off. But he keeps talking. But I don't know why this guy's like throwing shade at SML.
I'm assuming this refers to episodes of Super Mario Logan that had a dark twist. But I'm not gonna watch Super Mario Logan to find clip because I'm not a small annoying child. Suicide Mouse. Suicide
I thought you already messed with
Mouse
Suicide
was
Mouse.
a creepypasta about a lost episode of Mickey Mouse. This entry was in the Iceberg earlier. I think the writer of it might have just made a mistake and put it in twice.
Then why'd you put it in
Username
twice?
666.
Oh, I remember
This
this.
is another iconic creepy video / creepypasta
Yeah, I saw
on
that.
the internet.
I saw this on Hoodlum Pooh's Revenge.
The video is made by Nana825763 and features the user entering www.youtube.com/666 and repeatedly refreshing the page. It slowly turns into a creepy hell world with a cursed channel and blood, gore, and just generally scary stuff. Turns out 666 was actually a YouTube channel at some point, but the
Sure
account
was.
deleted, which just adds to the video's creepiness. A creepypasta was written to capitalize off the fame of the original video, and of course, the creepypasta blew up as well. Samurai Jack Haunted House. Pretty
I
self-explanatory.
never watched Samurai Jack.
Jack goes into a haunted house, and creepy things happen. Happy Tree Friends.
Okay, if you're watching Happy Tree Friends, that's on you, bro.
Animated web series.
But I could see how people
cute,
fell for it.
innocent Kid show. The colorful, friendly art style led many kids to click on the videos. Unfortunately, this show was not how it seemed.
Yeah.
The show was incredibly bloody and violent. Me and many other kids were unfortunate enough to watch these videos and were promptly disturbed. Luna Game.
I remember. Okay, I remember
Creepy
Luna
flash
Game.
that showed up on
Not
Equestria
this.
Day.
I watched this when I was 5. Why did you watch Happy Tree Friends when you were 5? Was it like on accident? I only heard about it from like reaction videos. So when they had an obvious shock factor in the thumbnail. So I'm like, I don't feel like watching this. It looks dumb. Luna Game though, I heard about it.
On My Little Pony forum. The game featured you playing as the titular character Luna, aka Nightmare Moon. The game itself isn't all that advanced. It's what it does to your computer that makes things scary.
Oh yeah, I
The
could
game
see why
will
that's scary.
eventually spook you with a jump scare of a creepy pony and install some screenshots of the game onto your computer. Yeah,
This is why you don't download EXE games.
SpongeBob Face Freeze. This was an infamous episode of SpongeBob SquarePants in which SpongeBob and
Yeah, where they
Patrick
turn
make
hideous.
overly detailed, grotesque faces. Mr. Krabs warns them that if they continue to make those faces, they will freeze that way. SpongeBob and Patrick ignore this and continue to make said faces. Eventually, they all freeze that way, leading to this creepy scene.
It's just so ridiculous. I thought it was cool. Yeah.
Episode and SpongeBob pictures that always seem to freak me out. The Dawn is Your Enemy. The Dawn is Your Enemy is a creepy bumper that would play late at night in Adult Swim. This bumper is incredibly creepy, and I can't imagine how terrifying it would be to be a kid who wasn't supposed to be watching Adult Swim, seeing this late at night with all the lights off. Scary stuff.
Cell
absorb.
What is scary about this? It's just eyes.
I'm seeing this late at night.
You can barely even read the text.
Scary stuff. Cell absorbs. Cell is a character in the anime/manga Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball, really? You're scared of Dragon Ball now?
In a creepy way that some people find hot, I think.
What?
It seems like it's a weird fetish art genre where people draw characters being absorbed by this.
Freudian slip? Wait, is that a Freudian slip? Bro is admitting, quote unquote, some people find this hot?
Character. Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. I can see it in your face. Yeah, you do. You definitely know why.
Yeah.
First it was My Little Pony, then it was Vor, then it was getting sucked up by Cell. Okay.
I don't get it. Leela's coma. This entry is referring to an episode of Futurama where Leela gets stung by a bee and gets sent into a coma. While in said
Why are
coma,
kids watching
creepy and disturbing
Futurama?
things happen. I'm not Patrick. I'm just gonna play the video.
Patrick, what are you doing here?
That was it?
Yeah. I'm not Tommy/Stu. Again, I'm just gonna play the video.
What's going on, Tommy? I'm not Tommy.
So...
Stu, I didn't know you were coming over.
I'm not Stu.
Who?
31 flavors. This entry is probably
I remember this.
to the song by Sacred Reich.
Oh, wait, what?
Which has a creepy album cover.
Whoa.
And the song also features some screaming and cursing. I'm not really sure why it's this far down on the iceberg.
Leatherface. Leatherface is the bad guy from the
Come on, bro. Leatherface?
movies. He's pretty scary. Not much else.
Yeah, if you watch it, which, why would you be watching it? Like I said earlier, I used to watch horror movies with my family. Leatherface was not one of them, but even this screen cap, it's not that scary. It just looks silly. Come on. He's a fat guy running at you with a chainsaw. You can outrun that.
Movies. He's pretty scary. Not much else.
There is Nothing. There is Nothing is a classic
this
YouTube
one.
video featuring a woman sitting at
This
a
one was
table with a
unsettling,
spoon
to say
with fire
the
in the
least.
background. She speaks in reverse, and then her face falls into the bowl. And then the video plays itself again in reverse. Turns out what the woman is saying is, there is nothing.
There is
I could not
nothing.
watch this full video as a kid. I found it incredibly disturbing.
I saw react videos of
Demonic
it.
baby. This entry is probably referring to the devil baby prank.
That
where a
was
woman would
funny.
walk around with a stroller, and an evil baby animatronic would pop out and scare people walking by. The Ring and The Grudge. These two movies are about people watching haunted tapes and then being killed later by demons who possess the tapes. These movies are often compared and are both very creepy. Val. I can't even explain this
The hell is
video.
this?
Just watch it for yourself. It's really creepy and unsettling.
Really?
Dark animation memes. This entry is likely referring to animation memes, which are basically a trend where you loop a simple animation to the rhythm of a song. There are many of these with gore or dealing with topics such as depression, gore, murder, etc. Evil Dead 2 laughing scene. This entry is referring to a scene in Evil Dead 2 where the character Ash starts to go crazy.
It's Evil Dead.
Everything in the room laughing. Most scarily, a deer head starts laughing.
Wait, it's meant to be scary. It's Evil Dead. What?
Set Yourself Free PSA. This entry is referring to a bizarre PSA about skipping school.
Yo, what the hell?
The PSA presents itself as your average poppy teen soda commercial featuring a bunch of Disney Channel teenagers skipping school and sneaking to a closed beach. They are living the teenage dream until this girl runs off and...
dies. What the? Oh my god.
Yeah. The other teens start running away and also get blown up. We then see
it's
what
Croatia.
It was that they snuck into. A bomb testing site. A sign is shown.
Come on, a bomb testing. Dude, it would have been funny if you like, this used to be Croatia. This used to be Yugoslavia. Now it's the Croatian minefields.
Display that.
That's
I'm
funny.
not exactly sure where this aired, but regardless, this is a really
Croatia.
PSA.
I bet it's Croatia.
How long it sets you up for it to be normal. So I guess don't skip school if you don't want to get blown up. Don't feed the zombies, Newgrounds. This was an old video on Newgrounds showing zombies violently tearing apart a bunch of people, while that old Num 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 song that would play all over Roblox in like 2014 plays.
I know who this is. Okay, I know the animation. It's from Road of the Dead.
Really violent and the gore is really well done. I personally love the video because I love all things zombies. You know, Shaun of the Dead, Walking Dead, House of the Dead, Zombieland, all that stuff. It's great.
Yet this guy says he's scared of My Little Pony close-ups and SpongeBob close-ups.
But obviously, this would be really terrifying if it was watched by a kid for extremely obvious reasons.
I played Road of the Dead.
Math. This entry is referring to an old YouTube video where these cute little characters are doing math problems.
Okay.
The teacher writes one down and the kid dances to it.
I'm having so much fun. There is Chernobyl. Exactly.
Eventually, the problem gets really, really advanced, and then this happens.
Victor Shabosky's Advanced Education and Learning. What the hell am I watching?
Republic Commando.
That was it? That was scary?
So, the game Star Wars Republic Commando is definitely a dark one. The game is violent, mature, and generally pretty different tonally from most Star Wars games. There's this one part of the game where you and your squad all individually explore a Republic gunship. You find some clone troopers who are unfortunately all killed in front of you, as all you can do is watch helplessly. Eventually, you find the space parts that took over the ship, and they are extremely aggressive and rush you with daggers and shotguns. Later, you'll find your squad mate Sev being tortured by these pirates.
What?
You find bodies of clones all over the place, and honestly, it's more sad than anything. Eventually, you end up in a dark room where you get a distress signal from a squad of surviving clones. Once you turn on your night vision, you'll see that all these clones are dead. The game was really something special, and I encourage you guys all to play it. It recently released on the Switch and PlayStation 4, and it's pretty cheap, so if you like Star Wars or
Nah, bro, just play Doom 3. You'll have a better time. It's way scary. It's actually scary.
Games in general that you should absolutely play this.
Next is gonna be Outlast. Okay, Outlast. If you're a kid playing Outlast, that's on you. First of all, how did you get the game? Second of all, the title itself didn't creep you out. I remember it has like a creepy guy on the top.
The Jekyll and Hyde Club is a franchise of spooky-themed restaurants filled with animatronics and actors. Some of the animatronics are pretty damn scary.
Oh, wait, that was cool.
Controlled and voiced by people in another room, so they could address you directly, basically. Think Leonard Bierstein from Chris Chandler. The restaurant...
Chris Chandler.
That's funny.
We're going to Chris Chan.
The restaurant first opened in 1987 in the West Village in New York. And
or Dead Space, exactly. That's something scary. And this guy put the flood infecting either the Covenant or whatchamacallit, like a soldier from the USC. No, and I'm like, that's not scary. If you played Dead Space, it's right in front of you. I would go there.
Actors would roam the restaurant.
Yeah, I would go here too.
Interact with patrons. At some point in the 90s, another way bigger location opened near Central Park, and this one was intense. It had this clown guy, a skeleton band, and a live animatronic show.
That looks so cool, though.
In 2012, this place closed down, and later in the year, they opened a location in Times Square, which was really extravagant. I personally went there when I was 9, and I got so freaked out because of all the animatronics and
come on, bro.
Atmosphere. When this little old lady, who, keep in mind, was just a normal, real old lady, approached me, explaining that she didn't understand modern technology, I was playing on my 3DS, She freaked me out so bad that I jumped and recoiled backwards. It was hilarious. Unfortunately, in 2015, this restaurant closed down permanently, and now the only surviving location is the original West Village location.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunately, the place is kind of falling apart, but it's still a ton of fun, and it's still freaking out kids to this day. I have a feeling it's not going to last too much longer, so
Probably
if you're
not.
in New York, I'd highly recommend that you go check the place out.
Ew, look at that Gordon. What the hell?
Flash Games.
Gita.
People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals is an incredibly controversial organization.
I hate these people.
Alone, the idea is a good one, but they kind of suck. Like, real bad. In the 2000s and 2010s, they created a bunch of Flash games parodying a bunch of popular video games that were for children, like Mario, Pokemon, Cooking Mama, etc.
Cooking Mama?
These games
Oh,
were really
this one.
bloody and disturbing, especially in the case of the Cooking Mama one. And since these games were of kid-friendly IPs, lots of kids either played the games or at least watched videos of them being played on YouTube.
I saw reaction videos.
Promptly disturbed. I was one of those kids, and I personally actually played the Super Chick Sisters game a few times.
Super
I liked
Chick
it,
Sisters.
But I was also disturbed by the portrayal
okay.
of KFC and Ronald McDonald. At the end of one of the Chick Sisters games, you'd be presented with a bonus video taken secretly, showing the awful cruelty of the chicken coops and all the torture the chickens go through before they are killed. It's some really, really...
You know what? Even if I saw the video, I wouldn't stop eating meat. I love chicken.
Really disturbing stuff on its own right. One of PETA's stupider games was Mario Kills Tanuki, which was a protest to the return of the Tanuki suit in the game Super Mario 3D Land. They were basically saying that Mario skins Tanukis and wears their suit, which is...
That wouldn't make any sense, yeah.
They also made a parody by the name of Pokemon Black and Blue, which compared Pokemon to circus animals in the way that they are poorly treated. Kind of a...
They're not, though. They literally get healed. They're... Oh my god.
Well, I'm glad that they stopped doing these since they are really unnecessary in my
Good.
opinion.
I'm surprised they didn't get a copyright strike.
A Henna-Barbus heticide. This entry is referring to an iconic creepy face
Oh my god!
page around it. Allegedly, this account would send disturbing pictures.
Yeah, I don't like that image a lot.
Children. Some people claim to have visited the Facebook page, seeing extremely
I
graphic.
really don't like that image.
Which was deleted slightly after they visited. Eventually, some more disturbing things appeared on the page, and it was deleted. Apparently, the face itself is from a Japanese website by the name of 2chan.
2chan.
People on the website have an inside joke where they try to make the character less scary, which, good luck with that. Japanese sea creature. This entry is referring to a very strange video on YouTube that claimed to show a strange, unknown sea creature being messed with by a group of boys.
The hell is
guys
that?
start flipping it over and start poking and prodding at it, and eventually they pour coke on it. The creature then starts to vomit or something, and then it explodes and gets all over the guys as they scream. The design of the creature looks so real. The way
No, it doesn't.
It just looks so alive. To be clear, the creature is fake and comes from a TV show, but it's still very impressive.
It looks like the brain bug from Starship Troopers.
The original video on YouTube didn't state that it was fictional, leading to many people believing it was real. Me.
I love Me
is a
that is not trauma.
Crazy YouTube video.
I love the song.
Fiction. The video is animated in the Japanese anime art style, and I'm only going to show you parts of it. If you've seen the video, you know exactly why.
I love this video.
There's a tragic story to the whole thing, which if it's your first time watching, you won't get because the boobies are all over the place, and that's very distracting. But basically, throughout the whole video, this guy, the protagonist, is basically
tripping
being
balls
hypnotized by the big booby anime girls. However, those big booby anime girls are representative of his addiction. So, they are evil monster-like creatures. Eventually, the
They
guy's
turn
girlfriend
evil.
is found, crying, and the guy tries to help her but can't, and is seen being eaten by a naked anime girl. Eventually, the guy goes through a Sailor Moon transformation into this badass super soldier, and the video turns into a first-person perspective as he blasts apart the anime girls. Unfortunately, he gets ambushed by an army of anime girls with the same type of weaponry as the fembots in Austin Powers, if you know what I'm talking about. He's then and eaten by these characters, and it ends with him dead. And that's where the video starts.
I love this video.
Yeah,
It's such a
the
good
thing goes
song,
forever.
too.
It loops. The guy never overcomes his addiction.
Yeah, that's
His
the point.
girlfriend just has to go through the same pain over and over and over again. This is one of those videos that was recommended to many, many kids and freaked them out.
Kids?
The video has a pretty deep message to it, and, well, that's lost on...
No, I only watched it because of what you call YouTubers react. I'm like, oh my god, this song is awesome. I wasn't even caring about what the video was. I was caring about the song. The song was
At least
banger.
for the first time. Evil chipmunks.
Evil chipmunks.
This entry is referring to a scene in the movie Disaster Movie where the main characters find these really realistic looking portrayals of the CGI Alvin and the Chipmunk characters. The chipmunks are friendly and just singing Christmas songs at first, and the characters enjoy it. However, the chipmunks start singing death metal, and eventually they are revealed to have rabies. They attack all the people. Eventually, the pregnant woman gets eaten alive by the chipmunks, and it's pretty disturbing.
That's an L.
Clip back in 2015, and at the time, me and my friends loved watching the original Alvin and the Chipmunks movie. And I personally watched that movie since I was like 4, so I was very fond of it. Seeing this definitely disturbed me and lots of other kids for obvious reasons.
That's kind of funny.
Watching it now, it's kind of hilarious in a way, and it's very unexpected, especially without context of the rest of the movie, so I totally understand why you guys recommended it. Body falling from the ceiling picture. Alright, so I have a feeling that
this one.
This picture.
Yeah, it's fake.
It's pretty terrifying. Turns out the picture is fake,
yeah.
But still, it's scary. The Squawking Dead. The
Squawking Dead
is an Angry Birds parody animation of The Walking Dead, where there's a group of birds defending themselves against a horde of zombie pigs. Unfortunately, most of the birds get brutally killed off by these zombie pigs, and I mean brutally killed. Like, this is some violent shit. Eventually, the king pig breaks in and starts eating the bomb bird. Being the bomb bird, he blows up, saving the last remaining birds. The red bird then starts to lose feathers and he turns into a zombie. The video is probably watched by kids thinking it was just another one of many other kid-friendly
this might be fire though.
Animations, and we're probably scared out of their minds by this violent romp. I feel bad for any kids.
How does violence scare you?
Just watched a ton of Angry Birds videos. Beeble Fox.
What the hell's Beeble Fox?
This is a weird one. Beeble Fox was a weird YouTube channel about a weird man. First video
British Virgin Islands? Wait, where is that? Is that in the Caribbean?
View of Grand Theft Auto. You can see a part of his room is filled up with pictures of this young-looking girl. This guy has the creepiest voice. Like, the creepiest voice, and it fits perfectly with the videos.
Okay, we gotta
Why are you hurting me? No. No, I'm doing society a favor. No.
Drake, yeah.
He's got another video called Unboxing My New Daughter.
Oh no.
Well, unboxes this weird mannequin, and I hate this. And I don't want to.
No, bro. What?
Gotta continue. This is the fully explained series after all, so gotta carry on. His most popular video is one of him creepily taking apart another mannequin doll and wearing its limbs, and he's a furry, and yeah, no, f this. I remember seeing the Scare Theater video on this.
It took you long enough to...
It was kind of creepy to me at the time, but now I really can't stand it. I feel like this guy's your average Discord mod, creeping on kids, and it's just not good. Cell phone microwave. This entry is referring to a very creepy old YouTube video showing a Nokia cell phone being microwaved. It's pretty normal until it starts bubbling and this crazy looking monster face comes out of the phone and starts screaming. It's some really cool stuff and it was pretty disturbing back in the day. Of course, many kids thought this would actually happen when microwaving a phone, so that's why it's here. I personally think this video is really cool and might even be a good plot to a horror movie or something. Syriac Meow. This entry is referring to a video by the YouTuber Syriac, who was a part of the original Childhood Trauma Iceberg. This animation has a really cute and friendly art style, but the contents of it are the exact opposite. The video starts with zombie cats rising from their graves, marching over to a city to the beat of music. The zombies attack the living and it's very gory and brutal, in a very stark contrast to the cute visuals. Eventually, the military arrives and starts to take down some zombies. But unfortunately, the poor soldiers are also killed and every dead cat comes back as a zombie. Every time one dies, their souls release up into the sky, and eventually, the remaining survivors see that the zombies are too powerful, so they decide to just quickly end it themselves, instead of going through the pain of being ripped apart by a zombie. This animation is really morbid and dark, so obviously, this was genuinely terrifying to a lot of kids. They probably just saw the cute zombie cats on the thumbnail and clicked it for that. I guess the moral of the story is to keep kids away from Syriac. Creepy.
Okay, yeah, this is okay. We still have like a whole nother half. This stream's been going on for 2 hours and 38 minutes, and I'm hungry. I also got to check up on some other things. So here's the plan. For the next stream, we're gonna finish this off, and then we're gonna play a horror game if we have time. Cause this guy yaps so much. We haven't even gotten like to the actual scary stuff. The whole first part was like so easy. This is deep. This is considered deep water. It's the easiest one. So hopefully this second half is going to be worth it and not a complete waste of time. Because if so, I'm going to be very angry. But yeah. Cool guy. Thanks for stopping by. Your input was helped me not get completely bored. I was falling asleep because this guy put the most boring things in the first half. This is not childhood trauma. This is your trauma that you're trying to say that is everyone else's, just so you don't feel bad. Oh yeah, I'm being called. Okay, so I'm gonna end the stream. If you liked it, of course, subscribe. Get a notification for the next one, and yeah, cool guy. I'm out. See y'all if you tuned in.